Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody. It's opening day! Woo! The Ultimate Cleveland Guardians Show. That's not the Ultimate Cleveland Guardians Show. I just finished the Ultimate Cleveland Guardians Show. The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, but we will talk about the Guardians plenty. Tyvis has got his Guardian shirt on.
I should have put my foam finger on.
Should have put that foam finger on. We've got Jason, we've got Tyvis. And on the other side of the glass, Steve, Mike, and Anthony. And then we've got Earl up on his perch. Eventually, I'll straighten myself out here. A lot to get to today. We'll be doing a lot of Guardians talk throughout the day.
Good thing we have our Guardians expert.
I'm just saying, hey,
Tyvis.
I'm just saying now. For y'all two to be studying it and covering it the way y'all do.
Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about it.
And the Guardians have a TV deal, so if you're someone that doesn't want to do it through the app, they never have been on YouTube TV.
Well, they need to get on YouTube TV.
Don't sidebar us.
No.
Right now.
Do the TV
Yeah, we should do the TV stuff. We should do the TV.
We're going to get to that.
No, do it.
We're going to get to that.
Let's do the TV stuff real quick. Let's get out the way.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So everybody was worried, deservedly so. I had heard the Guardians were going to be done with this. It took longer than expected, but the Guardians announced this morning that on Cox Cable, on Spectrum Cable,
All of them.
on DirecTV, all the
must be nice.
If you watched the Guardians through your service last year, they'll be on. To find out the channel, go to the Guardians website. The only thing they're not on, I believe, is YouTube TV and Hulu TV. Those are the only things that they weren't on last year. If you have YouTube TV, I recommend switching to Fubo or DirecTV or something else.
No, I got other ways.
Or you could do other ways, or you could pay. Now, if you have YouTube TV, you don't want to get rid of it, you could just pay through MLB.com for Guardians TV, $99 for every game this season with no blackouts.
Is that like
Or $20 a month if you don't want to pay it all.
or $20 a month.
Is that like MLB got their own app on the TV?
Yes.
So you just click on the MLB app on
Yes.
the TV and
Yes.
watch it through that? Oh, that's not bad.
I pay for the extra innings, so I get all the teams. But I'm glad it's on Fubo TV because I have Fubo TV, and I wasn't sure because I didn't pay specifically for the Guardians. I paid for the bigger package, and in the bigger package, the Guardians had been blacked out. I wasn't sure if that was going to still happen. So anyway, it's all settled. So if you watched the Guardians through cable, if you watched it through Fubo, if you watched it through DirecTV, it's on there. If you're not sure what channel, go to the Guardians website, put in your zip code, and they'll tell you where you can watch the game. Good job by the Guardians getting that settled. We've got a lot to talk about with opening day, but first Mike's got some insane thing to talk about when it comes to the Browns.
Listen, UCSS is a source of news for
Yeah.
a lot of people. They watch every day to hear the latest updates on rumors, whether they are real and or debunked. So yesterday, right after we wrapped up UCSS, Bruce Drennan came out with a report that caught wildfire. Bruce Drennan came out and basically said the Browns were negotiating with the Dallas Cowboys on a trade for Dak Prescott. You can watch the full episode, yada, yada. But
I don't know why you would.
Major news than that statement. And then there was a flood of retorts. Jane Slater said, I run it all down when working this beat, and the Dallas Cowboys are not working on trading Dak to the Browns. In fact, texts with two sources tell me, quote, fake news and, quote, absolutely not before this get any sorts of wheels. Charles Robinson says, I hate that I even have to address this, but we might as well get it from both sides. As Slater NFL reported from the Cowboys end, and I am now reporting from the Browns end, there is no Dak Prescott trade in the works. No talks. My God, this time of the year. Get on with your day. Ernie, the Cowboys fan, who's a big-time radio personality in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
He's actually is a big personality media guy in Dallas.
Yeah.
At Source, the Browns reached out to Stephen Jones Monday about a potential trade for Cowboys Dak Prescott. It was dismissed immediately. The front office contacted Dak to communicate the situation and express their loyalty. They want to win a Super Bowl with Prescott. One more from Kevin Gray Jr., another reporter in the Dallas DFW area. He said, if you think the Cowboys are trading Dak Prescott to the Cleveland Browns, I have a bridge to sell you. Y'all got to relax. So back to the initial tweet. We mentioned the Bruce Drennan tweet. Steve, take the community note full. Twitter now does community notes. This was the community note it put on the tweet from Bruce Drennan. Quote, this report has been debunked by multiple reporters with real track records, including Jane Slater of the NFL Network. So we can officially put any of the Dak Prescott to the Browns rumors to bed.
I think it's funny that all the crap and lies on Twitter, and this gets debunked of all things. What about the important stuff that's lied about all the time? I mean, he looks like Daredevil. And what are you doing here? Listen.
Darth Vader.
No offense.
I am not wasting 1 second on this.
No offense to Bruce. I don't know him personally.
No, offense is fine.
But, I mean, he's an idiot for reporting this. And anybody that believed this is also an idiot. No, I'm not even going to go through the reasons why it's patently absurd. I don't even believe that the Browns called them. And if they did, they would have said, okay, we'll take Dak Prescott if you eat the entire salary. And then the Cowboys laughed. But I don't even buy that the Browns even called them. It makes no sense. It was ridiculous to report it. It was ridiculous that anybody believed it. I don't know what else there is to say about it.
I think all of that, yes.
Yeah.
But I think that for a split second, it was refreshing for fans to talk about something other than what the Browns are going to do at number 2. Like, for this whole entire offseason, it's been quarterback, what they're going to do at 2, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, what, blah, 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 blah. Like, for 42 minutes, it was like, oh, okay, that's something different that nobody's talked about before.
Okay, so you know
it
what
brought that to the Browns.
You know what I'm going to do, Tyvis? Later today, I'm going to report that the Browns are trading for Joe Burrow. Browns are trading for Joe Burrow. They're taking his entire contract, and they only have to give up 1 first-round pick to get him. I'm going to report that later. Can we put that out there for consumption? I mean,
Look into the camera and deliver as if you're being serious, and then we'll clip that.
No, I don't want to do that. But come on. I mean, this is just...
Dak has a no trade. They restructured his contract that makes it impossible to move.
There's 18 reasons why it makes no sense.
Google Bruce Drennan and David Blatt.
And with that, let's get on to the Guardians, guys. It is opening day. We're going to break down the Guardians' opening day matchup with the Royals. We're going to do some big season predictions, some over-unders coming up later in the show. But we're going to start with the opening day matchup after a quick word from FanDuel. March Madness is here, guys. The Sweet 16 in action this weekend. FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet wins. That is $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories. You can even pick who's going to cut down the net. With tournament games happening almost every day this weekend, there's always something excited to bet on. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and get in on all the college hoops action all tournament long. Guys, opening day.
Yes.
Guardians versus Royals.
Yes.
Bull, the floor is yours. We can talk. We're going to focus on today's specific matchup in this first segment. But where do you want to start? The pitching matchup?
Yeah.
The magic of opening day?
Yeah.
Wherever you
How
want
about
to go,
this?
take it away.
It's going to be 80 degrees in Kansas City.
I saw that. Whoever would have dreamed 80 degrees in March.
The Guardians will start. They only have really in their this long. They have a 9-game road trip to start the season, and only one game is potentially bad weather. The Sunday game in Kansas City, because they play today, then they're off tomorrow, then they play Saturday. It's supposed to be really nice both days. Sunday's going to be cold and chance of rain, but then they go to the Padres. There's never bad weather in San Diego, and then they go to the Angels, and there's pretty much never bad weather in LA. So before they come home, the home opener is the 8th. Against the White Sox here. It's a week, 12 days, so you got a while. Hopefully, I mean, it could be 30 or 80 that day. But great weather to start, which is good. I love this pitching matchup. We'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah, I mean, opening day is special. It is special for me, probably for Jason, who's a big baseball fan. Tyvis, is it special for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Yes, because at heart, I'm a baseball player at heart, if you didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you played baseball.
Yep.
Well, I like that. Good. Because it's about...
Expert.
I think baseball is about families. It's about going to the game. It's about watching the game. I think back to being a kid, listening to the game on the radio was always fun. Baseball, more than any other sport, is a sport that, and I love it, so I don't mean this as an insult, but it's a sport that you can have on in the background more than any other sport.
Yeah.
You could do other things while you watch a baseball game. You go to a football game, you're like locked into the game. In baseball, you could have a whole conversation while watching the game. And there's something fun about that. Now, maybe it hurts ratings a little bit or whatever, that people find it boring. I never find baseball boring. I love that baseball is back. I love that we will not have, outside of a couple of days around the All-Star game, there's not going to be a single day without a sporting event I care about for the rest of this year. So that's exciting to me. What's the most exciting thing for you guys?
Summer's around the corner.
That's
Start of baseball season means.
Yeah.
You a fast forward guy?
No, I'm tired of the winter of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Let's get on to, especially now with the Cavs being good, like
Yeah.
know what's coming. You got
Yes.
NBA playoffs. The Masters are right around the corner. So for me,
April 9th.
as much as I love baseball and as much as I love opening day, it's also signals what's to come. And we got a whole summer of fun and the kids being out of school and all that. So I love baseball. I love what today represents, and I love what's coming around the corner.
Opening day for me is exciting because with the Guardians, particularly with the Guardians, I don't know what to expect, and I like that. Like I like to come out into the season because every time this is an off season, we always talk about the lack of moves they make, and then boom, they have the season that they have last year.
Yeah.
And now going into this season, it's like I don't know. Like it shouldn't be good. But I'm eager to see if they are going to be good or if they still make some magic happen. So for me, I want to see what it looks like post Josh Naylor. I want to see what it looks like without Andres Jimenez in there. I want to see this new lineup that they're going to have. How are these guys clicking? Are the bats hitting? Obviously, we got to wait until they come back here to see if they still do hit these home runs, because last year it was everybody came and was just smacking home runs at Progressive Field. So I want to see if those things still hold weight. To me, I'm excited to see this team and see the identity of this team. The one thing about the Guardians, for however long I've been watching them, is they do not give up. I mean, it's been some exciting 8th and 9th innings, and I'm expecting to see those same things, even though they've lost some good players.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. We're going to get into the pitching matchup here in a second between Bybee and Reagan's a good pitching matchup, but the Guardians have not announced their starting lineup yet. It'll come out, I'm guessing, during the show at some point, but as of 11:12 this morning, we haven't seen.
That's not unusual.
Not necessarily. I mean, the game doesn't start till 4. So
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Let's predict. What do you
Yeah.
think their starting day lineup should be?
Well, I'm telling you this. Remember last year, Austin Hedges started on opening day. We may see that again today because it's a lefty pitcher.
Yeah.
So we could see, this will piss a lot of people off, Nolan Jones, Kyle Manzardo, and Bo Naylor all on the bench. Now,
I think Nolan and Manzardo for sure.
I don't want it. I was saying this in the Guardian show. I want Nolan Jones and Manzardo facing lefties. Now, you want to sit him against Reagans, you want to sit him against Skubal. I can live with it, the best lefties. But those guys, especially Manzardo, but I think both of them, I would play them against any mediocre or worse lefty, and obviously every righty. But I think today we're going to see John Kenzie in right field.
Yep.
Yes!
We're going to see,
Home run.
or you know what?
Home run. Put it
We're
on
not
the parlay.
We're not going to see John Kenzie in right field. We're going to see John Kenzie at DH.
That's
We're
fine.
going to see Rodriguez in right field, I think, who's going to be the 26th man. And we're going to see Austin Hedges at catcher. That's my guess.
That could be. Yeah, that's probably in terms of where they bat in the lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, so the lineup, I think the normal lineup, I think we're going to see Manzardo and Nolan Jones hit 4 and 5 or 3 and 4
3
maybe.
and 4 maybe.
But I think today, obviously you're going to see Quan and Jose 1 and 2.
Yep. I have. Who do you put 3?
Lane Thomas,
Yeah, probably.
Carlos
Yeah.
Santana,
Thomas 3, Santana 4.
Santana 4, and then John Kenzie 5.
He's running out of names quick.
Where's Rocchio?
8.
I think he's going to bat 9th, actually, and they'll bet Hedges 8th. I think they like to have a little speed, little
at the
buffer
bottom.
before the top. So I think we'll see John Kenzie 5th, and then we'll see Arias and Rodriguez 7, 8, or
6,
6, 7.
What's your
And
thoughts
then-
on Arias this season, Jason? I think
This
you
is
This
it.
is his last chance.
Weren't you high on him last year?
Yeah, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got a lot of.
Is he
power in
playing
his bat.
shortstop or second?
Second base.
He's playing second. This is his last chance.
This
so
is what I would do,
Rocchio
Jason.
shortstop, he's at second
He's
base.
Yes.
second.
This is what I'm doing if I'm the Guardians. I'm playing Gabriel Arias every day for 6 weeks.
Absolutely.
6 weeks, pretty much every day.
Yeah.
This is it. He sinks or swims.
You have to make a decision on it.
And if he's batting 170 with 2 homers after that 6 weeks, that's it. I'm
Yeah.
done with Gabriel Arias.
Yeah.
Next guy.
And you DFA him and you bring up
Yes.
Brito or you
That's
give
right.
it to
But I'm
Hernan-
giving him a solid 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Every day.
Is
We'll take him in and out of the lineup.
Is he the only one on thin ice for you in the lineup?
I mean, he's the one that's the most pressing
Yes.
decision has to be made
Yes.
on
okay.
of the regulars that are
I
playing
think
right
we're
now.
starting to, there may start to be questions about Bo Naylor if he doesn't have a good year. But we're not at
We're
that.
not there
We're not
yet.
at that point. We're at the point where if Arias is terrible, he's not going to be on the roster.
Who's playing center field? Oh, Lane Thomas.
Lane Thomas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quan in left, and then a timeshare in right. I think Nolan Jones is good enough to play every day.
Hey.
Yeah,
hey.
I think we'll see Nolan Jones and Manzardo play most of the games.
No. We need to see John Kinsey in right field.
We're going to see John Kinsey between right field and DH against the tough lefties. And that's why I think he's going to pitch today, because Cole Reagan's one of the best lefties in baseball.
Yep.
So is Tarek Skubal from the Tigers. But if it's just a regular lefty, I'm letting those guys play.
Skubal going up against the Dodgers today.
Yeah, well, we'll get into all the rest of it. But the pitching.
Let's start with the pitching matchup.
Yeah, it's a
Bybee
great
Reagans.
pitching matchup on paper. I mean,
Who is the edge?
Cole Reagans.
Cole Reagans has been the better pitcher, but not by much. And so I give him the edge at home.
I do want to see.
But if I told you Bybee was going to be better this year than Reagans, I mean, you wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be surprised by
I
that.
want to see his stuff, because I remember last year he was talking about how Tanner Bybee just got this stuff, and I was watching him pitch a couple of times. Well, obviously a lot last year, and I was just like, I see it. Like maybe it's sometimes where he get hit around early.
Yeah.
But like when he settles in, he's a really good pitcher.
The key for me is he's got to put guys away. When he gets ahead in the count, stop screwing around and wasting 3, 4, 5 pitches.
Yeah.
Was it last year he got challenged at the mound before he got put and they didn't pull him? Was that last year?
Yeah, they let him work through a situation or two. Yeah, I want to see him get deeper in games. He's the opening day starter. He's the ace of the staff, at least for right now.
Just got paid.
Yep. You got to get into it's certainly through the 6th into the 7th.
So
that's what more times than not.
So he's going to get a Cy Young vote.
He better.
I think he will this year. And Jason's right on the money. Tanner Bybee's issue was he'd get to 2 outs in the 5th or 2 outs in the 6th, and he'd run into trouble.
Yeah.
He'd try to get too cute. I know you've lost Jimenez, but you still have a good defense behind you. What you learned as a young pitcher eventually is I can't strike everybody out. Sometimes young pitchers, they want to strike everybody out. Sometimes you got to just make a good pitch and let your defense make the play behind you. And he's got to do a better job. This is what is going to take him from good pitcher to Cy Young caliber pitcher.
Yep.
He's got to do a better job of getting that 3rd out efficiently. I would love to go through it. I bet you there were a lot of innings last year, especially 5th and 6th, where he got the first 2 outs in 6, 7 pitches, and it ended up being a 20-pitch inning.
Yeah.
And if you do that twice, that's an extra 25 pitches.
You just cost yourself an inning.
At least. Maybe 2. So that's the next step in his development.
And again, it's not necessarily fair because there was a lot put on him probably before he was ready for it.
Yeah.
Life's not fair. That's the situation they're in.
Yeah.
That's what's expected of him.
He's capable, Jason. If he wasn't capable, we wouldn't expect it.
He is capable.
At which part of this series do we see McKenzie out of the bullpen?
I mean, it could be at any point.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how the games go. You want to get everybody in there as soon as possible.
Okay. So we will see him at some point in this series.
You'll see him in the series,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Not starting, but in the bullpen.
I don't know that we'll see him I don't think they want to put him into a high leverage situation.
No.
Like ideally, it's the 7th inning. The Guardians are up 8-0. Let's get an inning from McKenzie. Let's see what he does in this situation. But they're not going to trust him in a high leverage situation until he shows he can be consistent with his command.
That makes sense.
In terms of Bybee,
just
curious. I know it's the opening day, first game of the season. There's a lot of restrictions on pitchers early in the season.
Yeah.
If you get 5, is that a win for Bybee today? Is there a pitch count? Is it innings? How do you think?
No,
it's always pitch. It's always pitch count.
Yeah, I mean, for opening day, I would take 5. I'd like to see if he's efficient. There's no reason he couldn't pitch 6 today.
He's not going over 100 pitches.
No.
Probably 90 to 95.
Right, but if you throw 15 pitches an inning, that's 6 innings.
But
that's 90 pitches.
I'm looking more at the pitches than the innings. I don't think he gets past 95 pitches probably at most today.
If there's 2 outs in an inning, maybe.
Let him finish it off.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you told me he pitched 5 good innings, I could live with it. I'd love to see him go 6 today.
Especially as we get deeper into the season.
Yes,
as
sure.
These guys get hot as they –
Right.
He's got to get deeper into games.
Yeah, I mean, like by the summer, I want to see him consistently going 7. Right? I can't at this day and age. I'm not asking for more than that.
Right.
But I'd like to see him consistently at least get into the 7th.
It's only one pitcher I think I even recall going into the 7th, and that's Skubal last year.
They pull guys earlier and earlier.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I think you got it the second time getting into the 7th. If you get 6 1/3, 6 2/3.
Right.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
But, this 4 1/3, 4 2/3, 5 1/3, he's got to be better.
Right. Well, listen, I mean, The bullpen got overtaxed. Their 4 best guys last year pitched a lot. They're going to – I heard Chris Antonetti say that they kind of started all 4 of those guys a little late in spring training because of how much work they did.
Yeah.
He says they're all where they need to be. But
they throw an inning. They don't need to be stretched out
right.
like starters.
And
do.
I just think that's going to be one of the keys to the season is making sure those guys don't get overworked 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and yes, they were probably overworked a little bit during the season, but I just think it was the playoff usage.
Yeah, the playoff. Well, yeah,
really blew them out.
And that happens. Managers get desperate in the playoffs.
And that's why I think the Seawald signing.
Yes,
we didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, but that could pay huge dividends if that's another big arm with closer's experience, who you can trust in high leverage situations to take that from 4 to 5 guys.
Yeah,
that's a really big difference in October.
And
if they get to October.
Yeah, I agree because Seawald's a legit back-end relief pitcher. I wouldn't even be shocked if Clase needs a day off if they made Seawald the closer. Even though it seems like, it should be Gaddis or Smith because they've been so great. But Seawald has that experience.
And then you're not disrupting the roles of the other guys.
Exactly, those guys. One other thing on the pitching staff, and I mentioned this
take your time. As much guidance as we can today.
Yeah. I mentioned this the other day, but you weren't here, Jason. And I think the makeup of how they ended up with this bullpen. Do we have the graphic of the roster or no?
No, but I could get it for you real quick.
No, it's all right. The fact that they have
Joey
McKenzie, Cantillo, and who's the third long guy in the pen?
McKenzie, Cantillo, and Junis.
And Junis, all in the pen, I think it's their way of saying, hey, we need some guys that can go extra innings, especially early in the season. I think that's part of because they didn't really have guys like that last year in the pen. You got three guys that are starting pitchers or have been starting pitchers.
A lot of
in the pen.
As starters.
A lot of experience, and I think they did that. I think that's part of it is Sabrowski's hurt to start the season, but Andrew Walters wasn't hurt, and they decided to send him down. I think they wanted some guys that can give them distance in the pen and take the pressure off some of their key relievers early in the season at least.
Yeah, and I in the high minors, I don't know if there's a ton coming from a pitching prospect. Like they're sort of here. Their top guys are here.
Relievers?
No, starters.
Pitchers. Oh, yeah, they got nothing really.
So if they need, if Logan Allen doesn't work,
right,
it's probably Cantillo or Tristan or Junis who's coming next.
Right.
So you keep those guys stretched out a little bit while they're up in the bullpen. Then it's an easy switch if you need to make a move. If Allen isn't up to the task. He's another guy that's probably at the end of his
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. Like Logan Allen.
Logan Allen's probably at the end.
When was the last time it's been a pitcher that's been under like that type of pressure that actually delivered?
I don't know if he's the fifth starter.
Yeah.
He about to be out of the lineup. He done got sent to the minors.
Yeah, but all those guys feel that sort of internal pressure. But in terms of team pressure, they're not counting on Logan Allen for.
No.
They're counting on Tanner Bybee and Gavin Williams.
Do you see a world where he becomes like a good pitcher?
Allen?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean,
it depends what you mean by good.
Like he could be a third. Could he be a third pitcher?
I don't.
I think he's a 4 starter at best.
I could see.
Could he transition to the bullpen?
He's
not. A lot of failed starters make great relievers, but he's not like overpowering. I don't know to what you think. He doesn't fit that mold to me.
Okay.
To me,
he is what he is.
He's a back end. He's either a back end starter or he's a minor leaguer. Or that's what he is.
Okay.
So can he pitch to a 4 ERA? Can he give you a 4.10 ERA with a 1.25 WHIP? I'll take that from a back end starter.
Yeah.
With if he can do that, I can't have a 5.50 ERA.
Right. I mean, to me, at least in the American League, the teams that are best at developing pitchers are the Guardians, the Rays, and the Mariners. So if he can't cut it here, I don't know where he's going to go.
Right.
That's going to make him better. Like now, if you take a failed prospect or whatever, not that he was much of a prospect, if you take a failed starter from another team and bring him to Seattle, Cleveland, or Tampa, you look at him and go, okay, well, they can figure it out. Like they're going to mix.
Well, look at Ben Lively last year.
Ben Lively's a great example of that.
They're banking on Sassoni to do that.
They're banking on what?
Slade.
Saccone.
Oh, Saccone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I don't.
He's gotta get
to be
healthy.
fair to him, he hasn't pitched enough in the majors, but
he's got to get.
But
healthy.
he hasn't been good when he has been in the majors.
Right. But they're good at tweaking pitch mix, tweaking. Don't throw this, throw this.
Where did Matthew Boyd go?
The Cubs.
2 years, $29 million.
One last obsessed with that.
I can't believe it.
Thanks to the Guardians.
Last question on today's game, the opener of the season for the Guards. We're going to do some over-under player props in a little bit. We're going to do some division odds later. But, Tyvis, we'll start with you. Go around the horn. One thing you're specifically looking for in today's in today's season opener for the Guardians.
Oh, definitely the hitting. I mean, that's the biggest question mark. As G. Bush, if G. Bush was here, he'd say, we ain't got no sticks. You got rid of Josh Naylor, blah, 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 blah. So, to me, it's definitely going to be the hitting. I just want to see if these guys are able to put some over the fence. I don't know if that will be the case or not. But if they do, I'll be very happy. So, the hitting is the number one thing that I'm looking forward to today.
It's 101-62. I'm not going to get worked up over anything, but if you're going to make me pick something, I want to see Tanner Bybee against the Royals lineup. They got a good lineup. Bobby Witt, best player in the American League.
They got a good top of their lineup.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You keep going on about this. He thinks their lineup is overrated.
Jay said their lineup was fantastic. I'm like, they got Perez, Pasquantino, and Witt are excellent, although Perez is old. Who else is so good in there? Who's their fourth best hitter? Jonathan India?
I think Massey's pretty good if he stays healthy.
Jonathan India.
I mean,
second baseman to get 20 home runs, I'll take it.
I would, too.
He's a guy.
He has to stay healthy.
Take an outfielder who
Jimenez is going to hit 20 home runs.
I mean, this is a big year. We don't want to get lost in the weeds on the Royals, but this is a big year for MJ Melendez. They've had a ton of hope in him.
Right.
He hasn't delivered to this
point.
They're
top of the, although Pasquantino, I don't know if he's definitely playing today. He's banged up.
I think he is. I mean, we'll know in the lineup.
Yeah, he's not going on IL, but they weren't sure if he was going to be ready to play.
They've got a big-time hitter in their minors, first baseman that'll probably be up at some point this year.
He was drafted second last year overall, right? Third? Second? Oh, sixth?
Yeah, he was sixth.
Yeah, Condon was
I think the other teams are going to regret letting him get to sixth, but go ahead.
Listen, I don't think the Royals are the Yankees lineup of the great days, but I think it's pretty formidable. It's better than it's probably not better than the Twins lineup. It's better than the Guardians and the Tigers lineups.
He ain't really. He was arguing against. I
would take the Royals lineup over Cleveland.
He said the Tigers lineup is overrated.
The Tigers lineup stinks.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think. Yes, on paper, in terms of their proven top end talent is better than the Guardians.
Yes.
But top to bottom, I'm not convinced it's going to be better than the Guardians.
I'm really bullish this year on Rocchio and Naylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if those two guys are good, then the Guardians lineup could be better than the Royals.
I'm there on Rocchio with you.
My hope for Brian Rocchio is that he's batting second by June 1st or thereabouts.
Well, I like Ramirez in the 2-hole.
That's your bold prediction.
I like Ramirez back in 3.
You
got
more at bats at 2.
What's that?
More at bats at 2.
Yeah, but who's batting behind him? Is the big thing. I care about who's batting behind him more than I care about.
If Manzardo has the season we could have, then he's batting third.
Did they end up implementing the rule where you could put the guy in at any time?
No.
Okay.
They're not.
But what are you looking for today?
I mean, Jason said it. It's 101-62, but Tanner Bybee's first start coming off the contract extension, and we've talked about it. Looking for him to take the next step as a starter. Does he feel any pressure? We may disagree on how good the Royals lineup is, but there's no disagreement about how good the top of their lineup is. So, yeah, I mean, seeing him navigate Bobby Witt Jr., Pasquantino, a veteran in Perez, I'm looking forward to seeing him get, maybe 3 shots at those guys.
We'll be talking some more Guards with some player props and division odds in a little bit. Let's pivot, though. Today's episode is brought to you by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what you build, in practicing every detail to get the best results, but no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier. At Epicor, all the all-stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices. Epicor ERP solutions are created by industry experts to help make every day easier. Seeing your whole supply chain is easier. Managing logistics also easier. Responding to price changes now easier as well. From small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global vision, we'll equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way. Because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most out of every hardworking minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at www.easierwithepicor.com. That is easierwithepicor.com. Guys, this came out yesterday.
Yes.
But none of you guys were on the panel, so I figured it was worth discussing again. But Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, and Jimmy Haslam were all in Miami yesterday for a private workout with Cam Ward. Mary Kay Cabot confirmed that report, that all 3 of those guys The main brass of the Browns front office was down there getting
Moe
a
and Curly.
one-on-one look. It's also been reported that Shedeur Sanders will work out privately for the Browns after his pro day next month. Jason, is this due diligence, or does the fact that Jimmy was down there with Barry and Stefanski make you think maybe they could put in a Godfather offer to move up to 1 and try and get Cam Ward?
Yeah, it's that one. The fact that Jimmy was there tells me that they're taking this very seriously. I don't want to get ahead. We're probably going to talk about this later on the show. I think Tennessee is making it very clear that they're open for business.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily the case every year with the number 1 pick. But they're basically telling you that if you want them, come get them. Because they're not, for whatever reason, they're not sold on them. And personally, I think Tennessee is looking at this. Their coach and GM are not in danger of being fired.
No.
But I think they're looking at 2 and 3 and saying there's pressure on both those organizations to win right now. And, oh, by the way, the Browns just traded 3 first-round picks to go get a quarterback. So what will they give us to move up to get Cam? So when you marry that with the fact that they were there for a private workout with Cam and the fact that Jimmy was there, I think that they really are seriously looking at this and possibly considering what's it worth. And again, the thing I've said all throughout this, if that's your guy, go get your guy.
Yep.
No matter the cost, whatever it takes. But you don't do it just because, well, they got a quarterback, let's just draft a quarterback. You have to listen to your personnel, man. You have to listen to your scouting department. You got to listen to your GM and your head coach. And if they're in alignment or they're in agreement, this is the guy, then there is no price too high. You got to go get that guy. And if you don't love him, then you don't make the move. It's really that simple.
Tyvis.
I agree with everything you said. I thought that, to be honest with you, if I agree, like if this is the guy that you think is your franchise quarterback, then you have to sell out for it. I know a lot of people's like, well, it might cost this, that, and this, and that, and the third, but if that's going to get you the guy that's going to help you, that you're going to have for 5, maybe 10 years, and this is the guy that you're going to have, then you absolutely go make that deal. I mean, we talk about we always go back to the Myles Garrett count or draft year, and everybody's like, well, you should have got Patrick Mahomes with that pick. Yeah, in hindsight, that's true. And it's funny to me because I've been sitting back watching how just things are unfolding, like the Giants going to sign Russell and Jameis. And I'm thinking, it made me think to myself when I saw that, I'm like, well, maybe they think Shedeur and Cam's going 1 and 2. Maybe they think the Titans going to take Cam and the Browns is going to take Shedeur. So they're like, well, we got to get something. So that's why they landed on those guys. I know there's a lot of smoke behind the Abdul Carter thing, but I truly believe that as talented as Abdul Carter is, and he would be fine. At the end of the day, no matter what the Browns do at 2 or if they decide to move up and take Cam, I'm gonna figure out after they make that move, I'm going to know exactly what the plan is by looking at what they do. But, yeah, the fact that Jimmy is going down there to watch him, and they're going to watch – do we know if he's going when Shedeur throws?
I would imagine so.
I would imagine so, but we haven't been told definitively whether or not.
I think that right there is going to be if they're going to make a trade, it'll be after April 4th.
So I just saw this morning that the over-unders are out for the first time, I believe for the first time, for the NFL teams. Obviously, they'll change as the draft happens.
Talking about like the wins?
The win total over-unders. Do you know what the Browns' win total is?
6.5.
I
think I know.
What do you think it is?
4.5?
It is 4.5. Do you know where that ranks?
Second last behind the Giants.
No, 32nd. Dead last.
I saw an ESPN bet had the Giants at dead last.
Well, the one I saw today had the Browns dead last at 4.5.
The only reason I know the Giants were dead last was they were 3.5 before they signed Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And they were 3.5 after they signed Russell
Okay,
Wilson.
maybe I somehow missed it. Either way, they were either 31st or 32nd. So the Browns are in a terrible position, and unlike Tennessee, as you alluded to, Jason, at least we all think that if this season, if they win around 4.5 games, then everybody could be fired. So they got to get this right. They can't F this up. Mm-hmm. So if there's a lot of people who study the draft for a living who believe that Cam Ward is the only good quarterback in this draft. Mm-hmm. Now, that may not be true.
Correct.
But that's the general consensus. Now, Do the teams feel the same way?
His stock has went up.
Yes.
Because when it first came out, it was
none of
these quarterbacks would be better than any of the quarterbacks.
But then, like, Sean King said Cam Ward's the best guy.
Yeah.
Greg Cosell, Cam Ward's the best guy.
He was on yesterday.
I believe Dane Brugler. I believe
McShay.
They all say Cam Ward's the best guy. Now, they're not GMs.
No.
They're good at their jobs, but they're not GMs.
Mm-hmm.
If the Browns feel that Cam Ward is the only good quarterback, or the only quarterback worth taking in the first round, and if the Titans are open to trading that pick, then it is an absolute no-brainer. Of course you trade up to 1. This idea from some people, I've actually heard people say, well, if he comes to 2, we'll take him. But we can't trade up to 1. That's the dumbest thing ever.
What is a Godfather offer? What does that mean?
That's an overwhelming offer.
An offer you can't refuse.
Yes. Now,
what better offer is that than moving down one spot?
You're moving one spot.
Maybe a couple
but there could
picks.
be other teams involved. The Giants
but there could be other
involved.
teams. But are the Giants really involved? If they just signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, are they? Maybe they are.
They make a combined $15 million.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, Mike. The rest of the teams, I don't know that the Browns have to worry that much. Because if you're the Titans, you don't want to drop down to 6 or 9.
It's either 2 or 3, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
So if the Browns don't think the Giants are a threat, then obviously you're going to have to give up a little more than you normally would to go 1 spot. But the Browns aren't giving up 3 first-round picks to go from 2 to 1.
Obviously. No. I don't think that they are.
Are they even giving up 1 first-round pick?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
You talking about next year's?
Yeah. If I'm Tennessee, that's the starting price. Like, you're not doing it. You can call your shot. You can charge them whatever you want.
I don't know if they have the typical leverage, only because if they're not convinced he's the guy, and nobody else trades for him, they could get desperate at the end. But who knows? But in the end, even if it takes a first-round pick next year to get him, if you're the Browns and you're convinced he's a franchise quarterback, you have to make the trade. And I know a lot of fans don't have the stomach for giving away more first-round picks, and I get it.
But then again, maybe you don't. Because if they're not sold on him and they open for business, who's to say they don't take Abdul Carter?
Then if they trade him to the Giants, then what?
No, what if they don't, though? What if the Giants?
But you wouldn't know that till the last minute.
True. You could roll the dice up into the draft and be like, no trades happening. They could take Abdul Carter and you can save everything.
I think it's a mistake to say it's 2 or 3. They're not going to fall below that. I think they would fall below that.
For who?
Well, I'm just looking back. I just pulled it up when the Bears traded out at number 1 with Carolina in the Caleb Williams deal. They went all the way down to 9. When the Titans traded out of 1 with the Rams for Jared Goff, they went all the way down to 15.
I could be wrong. Certainly they could. I feel like because you have Carter and Hunter, who could be generational players, that they wouldn't want to drop below 3. Obviously, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And those teams would have to give up a lot more to get up.
And looking at some of these trades from the past, these teams didn't give up. So to go from 9 to 1, the Bears got a future 1. Obviously, 2 to 1 isn't nearly as far of a leap. So you would say, well, that'd be ridiculous to give up a first-round pick. But like the trade charts, those don't apply when you're talking about quarterbacks and the first. Like it does, if you're Tennessee's in the driver's seat, and the fact that they're even making him available tells me they're not sold on him. Because if this was an Andrew Luck draft,
well, do we know? I mean, how do we know for sure that they're not?
Because why would you? Because you already had the workout, like you already saw him. You were at the point.
You went to the pro day with your entire staff. Then you going out there to work, have a private workout again.
Titans are having a private workout with Ward later this week.
We are at the point. Okay, we'll wait till after that.
You want to lay eyes on him as much as you can.
But we're at the point of this process where it starts to come out. Listen, we love Cam Ward. We're taking Cam Ward first overall.
End of conversation.
End of conversation. And that hasn't happened yet. And maybe that'll happen after the
right. And if it were, what I would say is, if the Titans were locked into Cam Ward, then his camp would probably know about it, and then he wouldn't work out for the Browns.
Right. That's what I'm saying. All signs are
pointing to. And the fact that Jimmy went there specifically.
All signs are pointing to Tennessee is open to dealing the pick, which means, again, if this was a slam dunk no brainer, they wouldn't even entertain offers for it. Like, it's just, this is
right.
Well,
this is where we're staying, and this is who we're
truly
taking.
think it's because of the fact that there's 3 can't miss prospects, and I think that's
but ultimately, if it wouldn't matter, the other 2 being can't miss don't matter. It's the quarterback is.
Maybe they believe in Will Levis.
No, there's 0 chance.
They
have more time.
Will Levis, his rookie year, he had some upside.
That guy must have a P for a brain because he makes the stupidest throws
He had
I've ever seen.
His first year, last year he was.
Oh my
dude
God.
was out to lunch last year.
Tennessee,
but the year before that, he was fine. He looked good, and so it was the game that he came in and dang near won the game.
Tennessee has more time than Cleveland does, and and then the Giants do in terms of. The Giants and the Browns are under more pressure to win right now. Tennessee is not. And I know no one wants to hear about next year's class, but if the Titans executives are looking ahead saying we like what's coming next year better, we're in no rush, we don't love this guy, they'll drop down, acquire extra picks.
Yeah, because if the Titans don't draft a quarterback, they're going to be the worst team in the league or one of the worst teams in the league, and they'll have that opportunity. Now, you can say the same thing about the Browns. If the Browns are starting Kenny Pickett week 1, they're going to be a bottom 5 team. No doubt.
If they're starting Kenny Pickett week 13, if they're starting Kenny Pickett week 1 because they've got a guy that they're bringing along slowly who's going to start week 4.
No. But I'm saying if Kenny Pickett is the best quarterback on their roster, they're going to be top 5 in the draft next year.
I mean, more than likely, I'm not going to totally dismiss them. But you would think that they're not one of the top
When do
end
OTAs
teams.
start? End of April, right?
I think right after the
There's
draft.
a rookie mini camp right after the draft.
Rookie mini camps the week,
and then
OTA.
in like early May.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
But they like working out now.
On their own, no?
No, usually they come
Travis,
to.
you would know. You played.
I know.
Well,
I'm trying to
basketball.
remember if it was the end of March or is it the beginning of April. Like
I don't know, but the draft is 4 weeks from today.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
there's
never
anything
ending,
going
by the
on.
way.
So
I was talking. I saw Jonathan Peterlin the other day, and I said, "Man, this draft can't." I said, "The draft and the Cavs playoffs cannot get here fast enough."
I'm telling you.
I'm done with the draft nonsense.
I'm telling you.
Yesterday about broke me.
Oh my God, that was just absurd.
It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Last thing on Cam Ward, and then we will move on. Jason, so the Titans are going to hold their own private workout with Cam Ward here in the next couple of days. They didn't have a specified date. Is there a chance that after the Titans' private workout with Cam, all this chatter of him not being a certified lock for number 1 can be put to bed? Like, could that be the final step in at least that saga?
Sure, yeah. And, I said that, I think, last week or the week before. Part of the reason why I think we have so much nonsense and commotion at the top of this draft is because the Titans' uncertainty. Because nobody knows what they want to do. And until that is clarified, you live in this sort of smoke-filled room of not really sure what's real and what's not. Once Tennessee declares their intentions of we are taking Cam Ward, and if that doesn't come out, if that is not declared, like we knew Caleb Williams was the number 1 pick.
That's right. We did.
We knew, I'm trying to think back, like Trevor Lawrence. You knew Trevor Lawrence was the number 1 pick. And until you have that clarity from Tennessee, then it's leaves open the belief to me that they're open to doing business and they'd like to move out of that spot.
All right, let's leave it there, Mike, and let's get back to the Guardians on opening day.
Yeah, we're going to do some player over-unders here for the upcoming season, but a quick reminder that tomorrow is our comedy show. If you haven't got your tickets, make sure you get your tickets. It is going to be a night filled with laughs, fun, your favorite UCSS personalities. Almost everyone from the show will be there in attendance. We appreciate all the support, and hopefully we see everyone out there tomorrow night at Hilarities.
Come on and join us. Do we have an official order of our lineup?
I think so, but Polk has changed it twice since I talked to him Wednesday.
Come on, Polky. What's going on?
We know Steve and Ant are going first, then you and me are closing. So
okay,
there we go. You guys want to do some over-unders on player props here for the Guardians in 2025. So happy face means you're taking the over.
Did you keep track of this last year to see how we did?
No.
Will you
we'll
do that
it
this year?
Yes, we'll do it this year. So Ant, we'll track this. These over-unders I created myself.
Good.
I'll be honest, I didn't like some of the ones I found online. I thought they were too easy, which means they're probably right. So I made these on my own. So these are not FanDuel numbers. These are not elsewhere. These are
Mikey McNuggets
from the
numbers.
Mikey McNuggets Sportsbook, yes. And some of these are a little specific. I combined a couple into one.
Yeah.
The first one, And this has to either be both yes or both no.
Oh.
But Jose talked about being in the best shape of his life. Turned some of his baby
Everybody's
fat
always in the best shape of their
into
life.
muscle. Zach Meisel asked him if he could be in the 50-50 club next year. He said, screw it, let's go to the 100-100 club. So the over-under. Will Jose be in the 45-45 club this season? Let's split the difference. It has to be yes to both if you're going happy, no if you're going anti. Tyvis, you believe in Jose.
I do.
Why?
Well, Jose, one, he's going to look at this lineup and be like, I got to be that guy. I know that the last time he's had to do that, it didn't end really well. But I think for him, I think that he wants to be the guy to help this team get to the postseason, and those are the things that he's going to have to do. Unfortunately, it's unless other guys start carrying their weight, which I'm not 100% sure they will. I think he will rise to the occasion, and I think he's really trying to get that MVP. It's going to be hard with Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt, but I really think he's going to try to put his best foot forward. Age means nothing to me.
Jason, you went under.
Hater.
Age means something to me.
Hater.
He's never done either.
He's never done either. No,
It's happening.
no, he's never done
No.
either.
It's happening.
So it's hard to believe that at age 32 at this stage of his career, really it's the running more than the home runs. For
Well, he's
me.
never even hit 40
I know he's
homers.
never even hit 40.
He had 41 stolen bases last year, so
Yeah.
45 is just a couple more.
And 41 was much higher than anything else he's had in his career. 34 back a long time ago, 2018. He had 34.
See, that's the old Jose.
How old is Jose now? 31?
Last year was his age 31 season. I don't know when his birthday is.
Yeah.
That was the old. You looking at the old
No,
Jose
listen,
stats.
we all love Jose. I don't think he's going to have a bad year, but
No.
in that 45, he's never done either. There's no chance he's going to
How many people in baseball history have done 45, 40?
he said he wanted
I think
100.
Ohtani last year, who
was
did
the first,
50-50,
right?
was the only
Was
one
the
ever.
first
that I
to
can
ever do
recall.
45,
clip
45.
this. Clip this.
It's not, there's no chance that's going to happen.
Wow.
He's not even going to get. I don't even think he's going to get 40 of either. I think he'll end up between 35 to 39 homers and 35 to 39 steals, which would be an amazing
great
season.
year.
It
That's
is a great year too.
He finishes with 37 homers and 39 steals. Beautiful.
I'll sign up for that.
45.
Y'all got to.
All right, so one
stop
in, we
that.
know Bull's a hater.
Thank you.
That's
A hater.
literally
There's one player in the history of baseball did it, and that's last year, Ohtani.
So you don't believe Jose's capable? You just
No,
think
he's not. I don't think anybody besides Ohtani is capable.
Wow.
And by the way, Ohtani won't do it this year because he's pitching and he won't steal as many bases.
that's bulletin board material for Mr. Jose.
I love
Ramirez.
Jose. It's not bulletin board material.
Yeah, Ohtani was DHing when he did it.
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
I just said Jose's going to hit 36 homers and steal 38 bases. That's hardly a slight. Go ahead.
I'm taking it as a slight. I'm sending it
Okay.
to Jose's agent. Bull
Good.
hates you.
Yes.
All right, next up, Kyle Manzardo's going to play a lot this season, we hope. This may be a little high. The under on FanDuel felt way too low, or the line on FanDuel felt way too low. I went 84.5 RBIs for Kyle Manzardo.
That's a lot.
That's a lie.
Hitting it, what I think could be the 3
We
or
got to
4.
listen to FanDuel.
Yeah.
FanDuel was in the
I think
50s,
you got
though.
crazy with your numbers. I can't
FanDuel was in the 50s. That felt way too low.
The guy's barely played in the majors,
He
Mike.
could be the 3-hole hitter.
we all
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
here.
He's a rookie. I mean, not a lot of rookies have 85 home runs.
If he has 85
No, they don't
home
have
runs,
85
I'm sorry,
home runs.
85
you're lost in the
RBIs.
soup.
I
Just
actually,
admit you're another hater.
I-
Admit you're 2 for 2 on being a hater.
I actually
Bull woke
dra-
up and drank haterade today.
I
It's
drafted
okay.
Kyle Manzardo last night in our fantasy draft.
Oh,
Good
he
job
knows.
by Jason, because Jason joined our fantasy league, and early in the draft, you got a minute to pick, and we had like 15 times where somebody didn't make their pick on time. In fact, sometime in the middle of the draft, I screwed up and didn't make my pick on time because I had gotten up to go to the bathroom at the wrong time. But Jason not once got timed out,
not.
unlike
on,
everybody else.
What
Bull,
time?
you're
What time
going
was the
under.
draft?
Where do you think he ends?
I actually think he's going to have an excellent season. I got him with 23 homers and 77 ribbies, but just not, and that's a lot
Yeah.
for a rookie. But I can't. 86. I mean, that's another.
All right, so
85.
if I had it at
85.
79.5, if I put it at 80,
I'd still have to go just under.
Jason?
He'll be in the 70s in RBIs, so I got to go under on that.
I'm not sure how much he's going to play against lefties.
Yeah,
So
that's part of it too.
And, I mean, if he hits in the 3-hole all year long, yeah, he should be around that 78 to 82 mark. I don't know that I can get quite as high as where you had him, so I'm going under.
If he has 20-something homers and 70-something ribbies, that's a hell of a season.
I take that. We need
For essentially, I don't know.
We
Is he
need
technically still a rookie? I don't know how many at bats. How many at bats did he get last year?
We need somebody to
Or plate
replace
appearances, Mike. How
Josh
many plate
Naylor.
appearances?
He's probably a rookie. I think he's still a rookie. Although I haven't seen him in any of the rookie
What's
of the
the
year
number? Is it
conversations.
Manzardo last season.
120?
How many do you need?
I can't remember. I think it's 110, 120.
Way below. Way below. Oh,
Yeah.
that's spring training. Never mind.
Oh, God.
He had 156 plate appearances.
Yeah, I think he's over.
I think he's over the number, I think. I can't remember exactly.
Didn't they want to avoid that?
No, they
No,
wanted
that's
to.
contract clause.
That's
Oh. That's
contract.
different.
That's
130.
It's 130, so
Yeah.
he's just over the number. But he played few enough games from
Okay,
a contract
so-
standpoint, they're going to get there 7 years.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's actually perfect for them because now he can't win Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder if they did that on purpose. Go ahead.
It's a dirty game.
All right, next one. This is the right field platoon.
Yeah.
Nolan Jones and John Kenzie Noel.
Very high on
Are we
that.
combining
Whatever,
them?
whatever
Combined,
it
this
is.
is the platoon. So from
Yeah.
those
Whatever
two,
it is.
will the right field platoon hit 44.5 home runs is the line. Over under. Tyvis is automatically taking the over. Bull.
Your numbers are so high.
Yeah, I know.
That is a high number, but
I got them with I got them with about 38 to 42, but I
yeah.
just can't go that
Hold
high.
on, if you're like 3 off, then the line's pretty close then.
What was the number for them?
oh, you're agreeing with it.
It didn't have
Oh,
a
sorry.
no, not like that, yeah. You're going under again.
Yeah.
Listen, John Kenzie gonna have 45 himself, so
I got Nolan Jones with 25 and John Kenzie with 15.
You are out of your mind.
So that's 40.
You're out to lunch.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little high with that. Maybe.
How many
Yeah, I
home
think you're
runs
high.
did John Kenzie have last year? Because he almost had 20. My
He
thing
had
was
13 home runs and 179 plate appearances. 179 at bats.
I think Noel's probably in that 16, 17, 18
Yeah.
range. And
I mean, he'll probably get 200 plate appearances, something like that.
yeah, and Noel will probably be around 20, 21.
You mean Jones?
Yeah, Jones. Because again, I don't know if Nolan's going
right.
to play every day. I don't know if he's going to play
I
against
think
lefties.
Jones will hit between 20 and 25. And I think John Kenzie will hit around 15. So it is I mean, they could get to that number.
it's happening.
I'd probably
But they could
lower-
also end up with 30 between
Right.
them.
I would probably lower Nolan a little bit. We don't know how much of that was the Colorado effect the year that he had 2 years ago.
His splits were
Yeah.
He had more on the road, didn't he? Wasn't it
He-
13-7 on the road?
his slugging percentage was better on the road.
I would still, to be conservative, I'd probably say about 18 for
What,
Nolan, 18 to
what
20.
was the fan duels numbers that you
Still
had?
a massive
I forget that
upgrade
one off the
over
top of my head, but
Will Brennan.
It was
Yeah.
definitely lower.
And again, if they hit 35 homers between them, they got less than 20 last year from right field.
Hey, if you get 35 home runs out of right field, that's an
That's
all-star.
huge. Yes.
Like, that's an all-star
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
2 into 1.
I think between them,
Well,
they could get close. If they did 35 and 95, like that would be fantastic.
I'm gonna let you know something. After today, they're gonna have one on the book. So
Yeah, you got John Kenzie today. Big Christmas. It's
one.
Go ahead.
They're only gonna need 44 more.
We're sticking in the outfield. We're sticking with home runs.
Go ahead.
Stephen Kwan had 14 last year.
Yeah.
Missed a month, 6 weeks. Could he get to 18 or 19 this season?
Gosh,
18 and a half.
I'm going to say yes.
Thank you, Jason. Bull's still in that haterade.
I'm going to say yes.
Killing me, Mike.
That's a
What's
good.
the line at?
That's a
What would
good
you put the line-
number.
FanDuel had it at 17. I give him 18.
All right.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
I would take the over on that. I think that last year he sort of changed his approach, and now having a year more experience of
Yeah.
pulling the ball that way,
That's a good one. I think.
and 6 weeks, provided obviously we're banking on health here, that he stays healthy.
Yeah.
Did it
I
say-
don't think it's unreasonable that he hits 20 home runs.
Not crazy. I think he's a 15 home run.
Did you
I
say
think that's what he
was
is.
the number 18 and a half or 17 and a half?
18 and a half.
18 and a half.
So 19 home runs.
I think he can do it.
I feel like he could do it. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think he'll get just below that. I think he'll finish with like 17 or 18. I don't think he'll get 19.
He'll hit 20 home runs and drive in 27.
Well, not if Rocchio's playing well in the 9th
Yeah,
spot.
true.
Well, he's batting 400 this year, so.
Oh, would you stop?
Zero chance that's happening.
Let's get to 300. Let's work on that.
Yeah, well, he's never even hit
Hit
300.
300 for
Yeah.
us.
The slump really broke me. Like,
it did.
I was really
Not only did he not hit
bummed.
400, he didn't even hit 300.
I was bummed.
All right, so for this next one, before you take it, Steve, there's no line on FanDuel. I made this one up. I'm looking at it now. I feel like I put it too high, so I'm going to adjust. So
Okay.
you're going to see the graphic. Don't take what's actually on the graphic. We're going to slice it down. Or let's make the line. This is for
Okay.
Travis Bazzana hits.
Oh.
I set the line
Just
at over
hits.
under 49.5. That's way too high. Looking at some of these guys last year.
49 and a half.
As I said, it's too high. In
He may not even make it up this year.
Yeah,
I think he
that's why it's too high. What if I put it at 29 and a half hits? 29 and a half is the number.
with the Guardians and prospects, it's always dicey. You never know when
29 and a half is the number we're going with.
I don't see him. Best case scenario, he's up in June. Like, best case.
Right. I think July is more realistic.
Right. And he could not be up all year. If he doesn't have a great first half, he's not coming up.
Right.
If he's killing it in the minors and they're getting no production out of second, yeah, we'll see him in the summer. Yeah, okay, let's say best case scenario plays 4 months in the big leagues. All right?
June, July, August, September.
So that's
7.5 hits a month.
So how many? Yeah, 7.5
hits. It's a hit a week.
Oh, you can get that.
2 hits a week.
All right, so is 50 the right number then?
No, it's not the right number because Bull's going best case scenario.
Best case scenario, he plays 4 months, which he probably won't. Now, he's the type of guy that when he comes up, he's going to play every day.
Yes.
20 hits.
I'm going to say he gets – I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say he plays 80 games this year, and he hits 260 in 80 games. So let's say he gets 300 plate appearances. Let's say he gets 260 at-bats. And to hit 260, 60, 120. All right. He could get 50 hits.
50?
I'm gonna go crazy. I've been on the downside.
This is the one that you're willing to take 50 hits.
I got Travis Bizzano with exactly 50 hits on the season.
So Bull's over.
Yeah.
Ty?
What number are we going with?
Yeah, I don't know.
Go with 50. If Bull's willing to
49
go
and a half.
Then I'm going under.
I'm going under, too.
I'm going under.
They're taking the under. Of all the ones, Bull, this is the one you will put your
Because
check out
this
for.
is it's not about giving my honest opinion. I just figured I'm going to say he's going to get 260 at-bats. If he gets 260 at-bats, I think he can get 50 hits. The only thing, the part of that's the biggest guess is the at-bats. Will he get 260 at-bats?
Right.
Because if he doesn't come up till late July, and then he only plays 65 games, well, then he's not going to get that many at-bats. So, all right, here we go.
All right, next one's Emmanuel Clase. He has led the league in saves each of the last 3 seasons, had 47, a career high last year. We get 44.5 is the line this year. I'm taking the over or the under on 44.5 saves for Clase with this revamped Guardians bullpen.
What did he have last year?
47.
That's a
lot.
Big number.
And I'm a little worried about him from a mental standpoint, but I'm still going to say yes on this.
I'm going to go. I think he's over 40. I don't think, and they're going to play a lot of close games.
Right. That's why I got him getting.
That's why I got him over.
But I also wonder if they're going to give him a couple extra days off, maybe throughout the year.
I think it's going to be close to that number, probably.
Yeah, I think that's really close. I'll put him over 40, but under 45.
I got him exactly 45.
Ty, you going over? Ty, what's your reasoning on going over?
The reason that they said, I think it's going to be a lot of close games, and I think that he's shown that he can get them through, and I think he got pride in that stuff, man. I think that they want to win as many as they can, and he's going to be the guy that's going to come through and deliver. I think he wants to try to get that playoff stench off of him, so he want to go out there and have a dominant and show everybody that he's still that guy, even though he had a down playoffs.
All right, last one. This is a trio. Now, if McKenzie, who's starting in the bullpen, picks up wins as a bullpen reliever, it doesn't count for this. This is wins as a starter.
Oh, shoot.
Bieber, McKenzie, and Allen. That trio, over under 12.5 wins this year. As starters. Does not count if he picks up a win in the bullpen, Bull.
Under.
Y'all some haters, man.
No, it's just pretty.
Y'all gotta stop
Bieber
this.
might only make 6 starts.
Y'all gotta stop this.
So even if he wins 4 of them, I mean, I don't think McKenzie's going to be a starter.
I don't think he is either.
I think McKenzie maybe makes a couple of starts, not many.
I didn't even factor that into this decision.
And I just don't see Logan Allen getting many wins. It'll be close depending on when Bieber comes back, but I got him under that. I got him with 9 wins between them, 9 or 10.
Tanner Bibby's going to do it by himself.
No, that's Bybee wasn't on there.
Bieber.
Oh, it was Bieber.
If it was Bybee, he'd be.
I thought that said Bybee.
Logan Allen
I'm
had
flipping.
8 wins last year by himself.
Oh, yeah, I'm flipping. Never mind.
Yeah, Bieber.
Hey,
Bieber, excuse me.
Late breaking news.
Yeah.
Tanner Bybee got scratched.
No.
Yes.
You're kidding.
No, food poisoning.
Oh, okay. At least he's not. It's not an injury.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter, and I wanted to check. I wanted to check with Zach.
Well, there goes my same game parlay.
I wanted to
Ben
check.
Lively's getting the nod for the Guardians.
Yeah.
Food toy. What kind of barbecue they feed in Tanner Bybee? Can we get a national investigation? Get the feds in Kansas City?
We'll get our guy Darren on the case.
I'm texting him right now. Hold on.
What is going on here? So
Yeah.
why Lively? Was Lively supposed to pitch tomorrow? I mean, Friday?
I don't know.
What is this? What is this?
Tyvus, what are you doing?
What is?
Wait a second.
Tyvus is ADD like me, man.
Tyvus is.
He's showing me Stephen A. and
What is
LeBron
he doing?
clips in the middle of Guardians talk.
I can't remember. Wasn't Gavin Williams supposed to start? I guess they want to leave Gavin
him
Williams.
on
You got
his
yeah,
turn.
he just pitched. I think he's actually
They
going to
don't
be
wanna-
on 4 days rest going from Friday.
Yeah, they probably don't want to bump
So
him up.
Lively's been off the most time, so that makes sense. So that's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
Now it's not the end of the world. If this was an injury, it'd be
Yeah.
a disaster.
Yeah.
He's got food poisoning, so I assume he'll pitch.
He should be fine by Saturday.
Maybe
Friday,
they'll even
Saturday,
pitch him
Sunday.
Saturday and push Gavin Williams back a day. Because Gavin Williams was only going to have, I think, 4 days after his last spring training start. So
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't start him on short rest.
no. Well, 4 days is normal rest.
I thought I misunderstood you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you want to get
I don't
Bobby
know.
on
It
the
doesn't
hill.
matter. But all right, again, I know it's a disappointment that Bybee's not pitching today, but it's not an injury, so that's the good news. He'll pitch probably Saturday or Sunday.
Those are all the player props I made, but
Yeah.
let's just do a couple real quick off the top of the head.
Yeah.
We can make up the numbers here just so we're going to track them. Santana,
Still on the roster in September.
16 homers, 15.5 is the line.
I would take the under.
I'll take the over on 50. I mean, that's not a lot.
He's 47,000 years old.
He was still good last year. I know he
He wasn't the year before.
At his age, he can go off a cliff anytime.
So line's 15.5. Tyvus, where are you going?
I'm
I'm
going
scared to answer.
Every time I
I'm
search Carlos
gonna
Santana,
say
I
I'm
don't
gonna
get the
go
one I'm
under.
looking for.
I'm gonna go under.
Bo Naylor, over under 12.5 home runs.
I'll take the over.
Over.
I'll take the over on that.
13.5,
Over.
14.5,
Over.
15.5.
Under.
Yeah, I was about to say 15
So
is
we'll
why I
do
cut
14.5.
it.
I think
Where are you
15. I think 15 is very reasonable.
I'll
for Bo
go
Naylor.
over on 14.5.
14.5 is the line, Ant. Ty, where are you going?
Oh, I'm taking over. I got him with 15.
Gavin Williams. Do you want to do ERA or WHIP for this?
ERA.
Gavin Williams sub 3.7 ERA this year.
I'm under.
370.
I'm
I'm under.
I'm under.
3.5.
Under.
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 We'll set it at 3.5, Ant. The line's
I was about to
3.5.
say he's gonna get.
Luis Ortiz. That
Over.
was all under for Williams. Yep. Luis Ortiz, 3.7.
Oh, over.
Over.
3.8.
Over.
3.9. Under 4. Let's set it
Under
at 4.
4.
I'll go 390 something.
Yeah, I'm with Bull.
Yeah.
I'm gonna defer with them on this.
Any other players we want to make up a line for right now? Just so we get it in the official record books.
How about Cade Smith under a 150 ERA?
How about 130?
Over.
I'll go over on 130.
140. Let's split the difference.
I would go over on 150 actually. Under 2, but 150 is really hard.
I'm gonna go. Let's. Yeah,
hate.
on 150, I'm gonna go over that too.
The hate between
I got him
y'all
with a
two.
160, like a 155, 165. Hate. If he has a 160 ERA, he's having a magnificent season.
Anything under 2 is terrific.
Yeah.
Gaddis, sub 2.
No.
No.
Sub 2.25.
No.
No.
Okay, we'll scrap Gaddis.
Dang.
See, we just did Kate Smith. Kate Smith was under 2.
Junis.
They all took under. Sewald. How do you pronounce it?
Sewald.
Sewald, that's what I thought. 2.25.
Seawall.
No.
Over.
Seawall will be over 3.
Over 3.
Yeah.
Bull, do you agree?
Yes. He'll be low 3.
Can we pick one that you guys disagree on? Let's find a number where it's not just down the line here.
Lane Thomas home runs.
Oh, 20.
I got Lane Thomas with 17 homers.
20.
Somewhere around
Then
there.
set it 18.5, and I'll take the over. Boy, I don't know if I could do that. Woo, that's a lot of home runs.
A lot of home runs.
We're going to have the Guardians top 5 with all these home runs.
Austin-
This is the G. Bush 5,000 yard plan that we're on right
Austin Hedges over under 2.5 home runs.
now. Under.
He's going to be top 10 this year.
Under.
I'm going Hedges over on 2.5 home runs. I got him at 4.
Is he hitting from the mound?
That happened there.
Possibly. Should be.
Four grand slams or 4 solo shots?
Four home runs.
All right.
Let's see. Who did we leave out? Rocchio. Did we do Rocchio?
Did not.
Dude,
I'll give you one. Rocchio was my preseason guy last year.
Yeah.
I got Rocchio with 20 homers this year.
Jeez, that'd be nice.
That's a bold prediction.
That is
right there.
very
That's a bold
bold
prediction. And you know what? I'm not totally against it, actually.
Well, you guys weren't here yesterday.
Yeah.
Tyvis, you weren't here yesterday. We did our bold predictions yesterday
Yeah.
because we figured the non-baseball guy dominated you two baseball guys in bold predictions
shut
last
up.
year.
What is this?
Tyvis
What
just
is this non-baseball
Tyvis
guy?
dog walked you guys. With
Oh,
your
my
bold predictions.
God.
So
I know
Tyvis,
stuff.
run it back. What's your bold prediction for this Guardian season?
My bold prediction. Ooh.
Didn't you just make it yesterday? Did you forget it?
No, he wasn't on the
I
show.
wasn't here yesterday.
Oh.
My bold prediction for the Guardians this year.
Bull actually kind of stole mine.
What about Rocchio?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that I was high on Rocchio. I was gonna say that he was gonna be like top 3 in home runs on the team, but I see that y'all feel that way and y'all are wrong. So I'm not gonna go there. Bold prediction. I want to go on the. I don't want to go bat hitting again because like that. I proved that. I want to go somewhere in the pitching. Gavin Williams finishes with a better ERA than Tanner Bybee.
That's not bold.
That's not bold. Did you see him last year?
I think that's bold. I mean, if you
You're going to call that bold and you're going to give me shit over the Cy Young pick last year?
fair.
That's
All right.
bold and like soft pencil.
Right? Come
Yeah.
on, man. That ain't nothing bold
Ty
about
didn't say it with
that.
conviction. Ty was like, I think.
Yeah. Now, if you pick Ben Lively to have a better
Gavin
year,
Williams may be better than
Even
Tanner
though
Bybee
didn't
this
he
year.
finish with a better one last year? Ben Lively.
better than Gavin Williams. Yeah.
Jason, what's your bold prediction?
Rocchio 2020.
Rocchio
Stole my
2020.
Rocchio.
Bull,
Yeah.
you going 35-35 for Jose? What's your bold prediction?
No. Well, I was
Give
going
me,
to
give me something really bold.
I was
You going to do Rocchio? Were you going to do Rocchio?
I was going to do Rocchio, but
You can't do Rocchio because you used him last year and you were so badly off. You are
it was
forbidden
such
from
a
using him
horrific
again.
Pick. Yeah, I'm
You're
banning
forbidden from using him.
All right. I'll. Here's my bold prediction. What the hell? Let's get crazy. Even though I said under on the RBIs, so 30 home runs for Kyle Manzardo.
that. So now you're a liar.
What a fraud.
Now I'm
What a
changing.
fraud.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
changing my pick on Manzardo to over on the 85 ribbies.
And I will accept that. All right, guys, let's move on. Get
Wait
to
a
our
minute.
next topic.
Let
What?
me go. I got one.
Oh, you got another one?
I
Okay,
got
perfect.
one.
Perfect.
Gabriel Arias, your boy.
Don't put him on me.
That's your boy. Stop it. 17 home runs.
That's bold.
If Gabby Arias hits 17 home runs, Travis Bazzana does not make it to the majors this year.
17 home runs.
That's
like-
true.
That's
Right?
fine. It's
Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. You could have an injury. He could play the outfield.
yeah.
They could move him around.
17 home runs.
It's unlikely that they
They
get much out of
They can move Arias around.
Right.
Yeah.
It's unlikely they get much out of Bazzana if Arias hits 17
If
home
Arias
runs.
hit 17 home runs and Rocchio hits 20 home runs, it's going to be a good season for the Guardians.
It is going to be a good season.
Book
Be a
it.
great season.
Book it.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
All right, we're going to end today's show with the division odds and the overall season predictions for the Guardians. But we got to get back
Now I
to
gotta
the
hear
Browns
about
real quick
Gabby
after a
Arias
quick
all year
word
long.
from FanDuel. March Madness is here,
gotta
guys,
root
and
against
FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet wins. That is $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories. You can even pick who's going to cut down the nets. I've got mine a few underdogs in the Sweet 16 at FanDuel. Makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. So we just did a topic earlier in the show about the Browns front office and main brass traveling to Miami for a workout with Cam Ward. But in the last 24 hours, the Vegas odds, which you can't bet in Ohio.
Yeah. Mike, the Guardians lineup just came out. Do you want me to read that real quick?
Sure.
I know you got this. Okay, real quick. Quan, Ramirez, Lane Thomas, Santana, Manzardo is playing.
Wow, good.
Batting fifth at DH. John Kenzie in right field, 6th. Bo Naylor is playing, not Hedges, 7th. Gabriel Arias, 8th. Brian Rocchio, 9th. Ben Lively, starting pitcher.
I like it.
We will discuss that in length at
Yeah.
the end of the show.
Go ahead.
There. But as we were saying, we talked about early in the show the Browns sending a plane down to Miami for a private workout with Cam Ward. But the betting odds on who the Browns were going to take at number 2 have changed drastically even after that news came out. If you look at the books, which you can't bet in Ohio, Abdul Carter is now a minus 400 favorite to be the Browns' pick at number 2. And on NFL Live yesterday, Adam Schefter may have had something to do with it. Take a listen to what Schefter said on NFL Live yesterday. Steve, I told you I have the side ready. Let's go.
Adam's probably telling me it's never going to happen, but if Abdul Carter is there at 4, that is a dream scenario for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, Matt, it's not going to happen. Abdul Carter's going to go before the New England Patriots pick at 4. It'd be an upset right now if Abdul Carter made his way to number 4. I would handicap Abdul Carter right now as the likely pick at number 2 today. We reserve the right to change our mind. A lot of things change, but the way this is shaking out to me,
fluid,
it looks like he's tracking to be a Brown, and let's see how it plays out.
I mean, that's just such nonsense.
I know,
What does that even mean?
but it's way too far out.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask a question about what he said.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Carter, Hunter, Sanders, Ward, whoever. Our guy Cleve Diable, who we both like, he does a great job putting out analytics. He had put out this stat in regards to Abdul Carter. He quote tweeted that tweet and said that the Browns finished number 1 in pressure rate last year and 5th in pressure rate without blitzing, 9th in quick pressure rate, despite not having a legitimate opposite edge to Myles Garrett. So the question I wanted to ask in terms of Abdul Carter, obviously he could be a great player. He's regarded as one of the top prospects. But would that just be a luxury pick for the Browns if they were to select Abdul Carter with the number 2 pick at a position that they frankly were decent at last year already when they have much bigger glaring needs and holes across the roster?
I think, to me, it's very simple. Everybody makes this complicated. Besides quarterback, you take the best player. There's no such thing as a luxury item. You take the best player. You win with great players. You win with depth of good players. You don't, outside of quarterback, you don't take a player because you think it's a bigger need at a position. If the guy's a great player, you take him. It's that simple. I don't know how good he's going to be. If the Browns are not taking a quarterback for whatever reason, then they have to draft the guy they think is better, and the position shouldn't matter, in my opinion. I really believe that. I think that's obvious, and I think teams don't do that, and it's stupid. If you draft by position, again, outside of quarterback, you are making a mistake.
What if it's a guard?
Alex Mack was a great pick when they selected him.
He wasn't 2 overall.
If the best player
He was not 2 overall.
in this case, a guard's not the best player in the draft. But if you were convinced that the best player in this draft was going to be the best guard that you've ever seen in the history of football, then I'm taking him. It's that simple. That's not the case this
Nelson
year.
was a great pick when
It's that simple.
drafted him.
I don't let. That's when you make mistakes, when you say, well, I don't really need a defensive lineman. I don't really need a wide receiver, so I'm not going to take him. If he's the better player, you take him. The only adjustment you make is for quarterback. That's it.
The only thing I would caution going off of last year's numbers is the NFL. We should know by now the NFL changes from year to year.
Yes,
Just because something worked one year doesn't mean just because it would look good one year doesn't mean it's going to look good this year and next year and the year after and the year after. So I wouldn't. Obviously, things like that matter, and you have to take it into account, but that wouldn't be the overriding decision for me on why I would or would not take Abdul Carter just because something worked last year.
I agree.
If I would take Abdul Carter because the one thing about Abdul Carter, which people don't think about, is the fact that if you look at this defense, the reason that it fell off last year, I know Cleve TA's numbers is all those things, but we gave up a lot of stuff in the passing game last year. The secondary, outside of Denzel, just everybody else really wasn't locked in and focused. And how do you offset that? Well, you go get guys that can rush the pass, the quarterback, therefore that those routes can't get developed. The ball comes out their hand faster. You get miss some error throws, and now you make picks and things like that. So you want to be disruptive as much as you can. And I think when you look at Jim Schwartz and you look at the Eagles and all of those things, he's always wanted linemen. It's always about the D-line for him. And that's what I think, that if you get that D-line straight and you got like some dogs on the D-line, it can cover up the run game. It can cover up the pass game. So if he's a guy that's going to be a game wrecker outside of Myles Garrett, you absolutely take that pick. Now, with all that being said, I do believe that the Browns do trade up to number 1 and get Cam Ward, because I just thought about Myles Garrett saying, I know who's going to be the number 1. I know who's going to be the Browns quarterback.
He's talking out his ass.
It's Cam Ward.
He couldn't have known that.
Telling
the
you.
Browns can't even know that.
They told
now.
him. We going for it.
The only reason I wouldn't take Abdul Carter is because if I'm not taking a quarterback, then I'm taking Travis Hunter. I mean, it's pretty simple. Travis Hunter is a once-in-a-lifetime player. I'm not going to pass on that guy unless it's for a quarterback. That's how I see it. Abdul Carter's a one-year wonder in college. He's undersized. Now, he might be great. I don't know. I'm not an authority on it. He might be great, but there's reasons to believe he maybe won't. I don't like undersized pass rushers. It makes me nervous.
Isn't like a lot of them?
He's the same size as a lot of really, really
Yeah, I was
good
about to
passers.
Real
say,
size?
we went through this already. He was about to
his pro day
say.
and his combine stuff. He's the same size as basically Max Crosby. He's a little shorter, but the same
Really
weight.
doesn't look it. I find that hard to believe. All right. But anyway, the first point still remains. Travis Hunter may be the Shohei Ohtani of football. Everybody's so scared to do things differently. If the Browns actually have guts and they don't like the quarterback, they should take Travis Hunter and they should play him on both sides of the ball and don't be wimpy about it. Be creative and be aggressive about it. He wants to do it, do it. If it means a shorter career for him, but he gets to be legendary doing it, do it. I'm not drafting a defensive lineman when I can get a cornerback and a wide receiver in the same player. That's crazy. To me, it's quarterback or Hunter, end of conversation. I don't understand anything else.
He comes off to me as like a giant patriot. I don't know why.
Travis Hunter?
Yeah, for some odd reason, I feel like that's where he's going to end up, the Giants or the Patriots.
Well, very well could.
Well, because you think quarterbacks are going to go 1 and 2. But if the Browns trade with the Titans ain't taking a quarterback.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, then if that's the case, then the Giants would take Shador, and then he'd end up with the Patriots.
Why would you take a defensive end over a guy who's a wide receiver and a cornerback? That's because you can't think clearly enough because everybody's convinced themselves that he can't play both in the NFL. How do we know? Nobody's really ever been given a chance.
I don't know. And I always go back to the conversation that I had with Kevin last year, when I asked him about, when they got their picks, why did they take Mike Hall and then come right back around and take Zach Zinser? And he said, well, the game's won in the trenches. So to me,
what else are they going to say?
I mean, that's just the thing. If they think about the trench players are very important to them and they think that that's going to help them, because think about it, they just went and signed a guard. They're trying to get back to running the football in the trenches. And then you think about the defense, they're trying to get back to being disruptive on the D-line. That's just, to me, what it comes off.
I wasn't here when you guys talked about them signing that guard, which was an odd signing, but I assume they're going to move him to tackle, no?
No, I don't
I don't
think
think so.
I thought he played some tackle.
He did.
He did early, then got moved inside to guard.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know that.
Well, then why would you spend money on a guy to be a bench player? I don't understand unless you're going to move on from one of the other guys.
That's what everybody's
Maybe they're going to trade Wyatt Teller. I don't know.
That's a conversation I think that's on to be determined. I do think that there's more to that than what appeared on the surface.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's weird for him. There were teams that needed starting guards. Why would he take a job
Seattle
as a backup?
and Cincinnati that have
Yeah.
open starting positions.
It's weird.
Yeah, something's weird. Last thing on the Abdul Carter note.
And by the way, if he was that good, a piss-poor team like the Bears wouldn't have let him walk. So let's not get carried away. But
very fair.
Anyway.
His injuries have been the thing that held him back mostly.
Yeah.
But in terms of the Carter fit here with the Browns, if they were to go that way at number 2, Jason, I know you said the numbers change year to year. You never necessarily expect exact replication of being a top 5 pressure team and all that. But if they were to draft Abdul Carter and pair him up with Myles Garrett, if he is the player people think he can be, which is a big if, you never know how these prospects are going to pan out, how much would that do for the rest of the Browns defense in terms of having 2 guys on the edge that could generate pressure at the rate that him and Myles could?
It's huge, especially in this scheme, and that's why I think it lends credence to the idea that if they don't go quarterback, that they would look at that, because we've talked about it countless times in Jim Schwartz's scheme. It's all about creating chaos up front, and you want to create chaos up front. Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett's a pretty good combination to do that, and covering the secondary, and linebacker is the least important position of that defense. But it all starts with those 4 dudes up front and creating pressure, creating chaos, wreaking havoc, and getting to the quarterback without having to dial up a number of blitzes.
And I think another thing that people are overlooking is the fact that JOK probably won't be out there this year. And that was arguably your second best playmaker on defense. You got to find a way to get some some production out of somewhere else. Yes, Travis Hunter would be great, but if the Browns have come out and said that they view him as a wide receiver more than a DB, then that's only on the other side of the ball. He'll come in, he could come in every now and again, but why are you got G New if he's going to come in?
If the Browns draft Travis Hunter and don't play him on defense, I'd fire Kevin Stefanski immediately.
I'm just saying.
And get a coach that's going to play him both ways.
That's just
Gary said at the combine they look at him as a receiver.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, Andrew Berry's not
so
known for
like
making good
when you
decisions.
hear stuff like that, it's just like I'm thinking about. To me, I still feel like they want to get back to having a really good defense because they seen how far it was. And like I said, we had the conversation of whether or not that's who they are and how things change year to year. To them, they feel like defense win championships, which it does. I don't make the rules. That's just what it is. Anyways,
That's false.
No, that's just a fact. Anyways. I think that when you look at that, you got to find a way to replace JOK. And then Abdul Carter would be absolutely the person because he can do the things. He can stand up. You can rush him. He can drop out in coverage.
Yeah.
Like all of those things is something that you need.
They'll win nice 3 games last year.
That's
if
fine.
they draft Abdul Carter, they're winning 3 games next year.
Fine.
How many they win with
Do
Travis
the
Hunter?
Browns on paper right now? Is there a worse offense in the NFL than the Browns?
How many will they win with Travis Hunter?
4.
It is real quick.
But when they eventually get a quarterback, they'll have a great weapon for him.
This is actually important, relevant to this. But Jonathan Jones of CBS just reported that the belief is that Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter will not work out at tomorrow's Penn State Pro Day. League sources tell NFL on CBS.
Who
Carter is a potential
cares?
top 3 pick in April's draft, even after tests revealed a stress reaction.
Oh, it's another reason
in
I
his
don't
right
want him.
foot
I
at the
forgot about
combine.
that. I don't want to go.
That's the only reason why that sort of put a flag up in my head. That
Yeah, I
he's
don't
not
want
working
anything to do
out.
with it. Seriously, is there a worse offense right now today than the Browns in the NFL?
Well, no, they got one quarterback.
The
in
Tennessee
room.
Titans.
Is it worse?
Yes,
You sure?
I think.
Would you rather have Tony Pollard? Neither team has a quarterback, so we can scratch that off.
The quarterbacks are both zeros.
Tony Pollard or Jerome Ford?
Tony Pollard.
Probably Tony Pollard.
Their receivers are they traded Hopkins. Who'd they spend money on?
They got Ridley.
Calvin Ridley.
I'd take Judy.
Traylon Burks.
I think Ridley and Judy's a wash. You want to take Judy over Ridley? I could live with that, but I think it's a wash.
Ridley back in the day before the
And then
gambling.
who's their second receiver?
They still have Traylon Burks, their first-round pick from a
He
couple
hasn't
years
really
He's
ago.
done
done
it.
now.
The Browns don't have a second receiver
Westbrook
either.
Akine.
He went to Miami.
he's gone.
He left.
Who's their tight end? I don't even know.
It was the guy with the weird name that was,
Okoroka
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Both of them are awful.
Yeah.
That's my point.
I'll give the Browns. I guess if I had to
You
choose,
just made my point.
I'd give the Browns a slight edge over the Titans. You're right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd give them a slight. Is there anybody else in that conversation? The Raiders. Who's the Raiders quarterback?
Gino.
Geno Smith.
I mean, he's serviceable.
They got Brock Bowers.
They got Brock Bowers, who's fantastic.
Yeah, that's about it.
Don't they have one receiver?
Jacoby
Myers? Okay.
Yeah, he's
decent.
not as good as Jerry Jeudy, but he's a decent player.
The running backs.
Wash.
Yeah, not really.
Well, they got a running back.
I don't even know.
They're not good either, but I'm taking them over the Browns because they got Geno
They have
and
Geno, which is a
and
starter.
Brock Bowers, who's in the next year or two is going to be the best tight end in the league.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, guys. Quick
Yeah.
word from Epicor, then we'll dive into some of LeBron's comments yesterday. But as always, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you guys today by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what you build, in practicing every detail to get the best results. But no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier. And at Epicor, the all-stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices. Epicor ERP solutions are created by industry experts to help make every day easier. Seeing your whole supply chain is easier. Managing logistics is easier. Responding to price changes, that's also easier. From small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global visions, will equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way, because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most out of every hardworking minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at www.easierwithepicor.com. That is easierwithepicor.com. So yesterday, LeBron James did an hour-long sit-down on the Pat McAfee show, and he went over a number of different topics that we could get into, but I want to at least start with this one. He was kind of asked about his early success and reaching the finals in 2007. And he kind of took a bit of a subtle shot at his teammates on his team. So this was the clip of LeBron talking about that 2007 Cavaliers team.
You know, my 7 years in Cleveland, I had some good years. Obviously, some great years. One, was able to take the team to the NBA Finals. I was 22 years old. I had a moment in Detroit where I went insane, 25 straight, 29 out of 30, you know, and took a team that you look back at our roster, you're like, what the hell? How was that even possible?
There's a lot of those, brother. We don't want to dive into all of them. You were at the finals like 45 straight years.
You know what I'm saying?
Good comment.
Man,
but is he, listen,
No.
I know he's right.
No. Because I'm sick of this. I'm about sick of this.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this disrespect on the 2017 that you didn't have nobody. Zdrunas Ilgauskas is in the rafters here. He was the second best player on the team. Why don't Z ever get the respect that he deserves? Z wasn't a good player, Jason?
Z was a fine player. He's an outstanding
Thank
human
you.
being.
Thank you.
And the most impressive record for Z is the games played, because his career was almost cut short by the foot injury earlier on. But come on, man, look at the roster. He ain't wrong.
I ain't talking about the rest of them. I'm talking about Z.
Is he a jerk for saying it? Okay, yeah. He said a lot yesterday that I took issue with.
We'll get to some of that in a second.
Yeah.
But he's not wrong. Like, we've all said, how did that team make the finals? We've all said it. How did that team make the finals?
Why
They had Z.
Why is everything about me? Like,
Shout out to Z.
he is the most insecure superstar on the face of the earth. It's always, I took the team. I did this. No other superstar talks that way publicly, Jason. No other. And maybe folks, I know there's a lot of folks that don't care. I think, and you know him personally, so whatever. I think he's a jerk. I think he's a bad. He seems like a bad team. There's a lot of players think he was a bad teammate. No.
Oh, sure. There's a lot of guys that didn't like playing with him.
He was crappy to Kyrie. He was crappy to Kevin Love. Is that fair?
Kevin, yeah. Especially the first year together. But Kyrie had his own issues going on.
I know Kyrie's a lunatic, but
Kyrie's
still.
he's a better person now.
I don't know about that.
Jason, before we get into some other stuff, you and I kind of talked about this on the phone one day. But if you put that 2007 Cavs team that reached the NBA Finals, that won the Eastern Conference in today's day and age, today's era of the NBA, how does that 2007 Cavs team fare?
It's a totally different era. I know it doesn't feel, at least to me, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it was. It's a totally different, like they averaged 17 threes a game. They shot 17 threes a game. Now they're making 17 threes a game. LeBron took 4 threes a game that year, and he led the team in threes. So it's a totally different style of play. It's impossible to say, but I mean, outside of LeBron, no, it wasn't a great roster, obviously. He was the hammer, but are they better than Boston today? No. Are they better than, I don't know, give me another team in the
Pistons.
East. Yeah, they're probably better than Detroit.
The Knicks?
On paper talent? No, the Knicks were probably better.
The Bucks with Dame Lillard's blood clots.
So Dame on the floor or no?
No, he's not on the floor.
No, then I would probably take the Cavs over that Bucks
Okay.
team. I think. But it's so impossible to compare eras, especially now when the game is so much different now than it was just from the three-point line and efficiency and pace and space and all that stuff. But it wasn't – he's not wrong. It wasn't a good roster around him.
But everybody knows that. So why does he have to make a point of that? What is the point?
That's fair.
There's nobody.
He comes on.
Is anybody discrediting LeBron for getting to the finals that year? No.
Here's the thing: like, we want athletes to be honest. So then, why are we killing them when they're honest?
You know, just because we want you to be honest doesn't mean you can't. Honesty doesn't get you no criticism.
It reveals you.
And maybe I'm in the minority.
No, what you said earlier is true.
Yeah.
Like, he can be very sensitive and very thin-skinned. And I think, like we always say all the time, well, Jordan would never do that. And Jordan didn't live in the social media era either. And it is different. Like, these guys are treated differently now, and they're attacked more now
I
than
could
they
deal
were.
with the attacks.
You know
if
why
I'm
they
making $50 million?
You know why they get
come
attacked?
on.
Because they got reporters that write stories about them and leak them and drop them after their season's over.
And
you trying to tell me something?
And another thing,
you trying to say something?
All LeBron does is complain about the media. Yet most of the media kisses his ass all the time.
Yes.
There's some guys that are critical of him, sometimes unfairly, sure. But for the most part, most media members kiss his ass. And so what is he so pissed off about when it comes to the media?
LeBron loves to be loved, but here's what I would say.
And most people do love him.
And they do. And
Not all.
He comes off so petty here.
Here's what I would say about Michael.
Yeah.
When did he? Well,
he was a douche also. We know that.
but no, like, do you know when he commissioned The Last Dance? The day of the Cavs parade. Because he felt threatened that LeBron was closing the gap on him, and Michael picked up the phone. This is out there.
Yeah.
Michael picked up the phone and said, do it.
Yeah.
10-part series on how great I am. Do it.
I hear you.
So let's not act like Michael isn't a narcissist too.
Of course he is. We get that. I just.
And I don't want. And again, he said a lot yesterday. It pissed me off. So I don't want to turn this into
Brian Windhorst as a friend.
That was total. I can't use the words I want to use. It's total BS. So I don't want to like defend. Yes, I love LeBron. I love him. I spent 4 years with him. He was great to me. I had a great relationship with him. To this day, I love the guy. But I can also call it out when he's totally unfair and out of his mind.
He's thrown you under the bus a couple times.
He has thrown me under the bus, and we got into it over it.
Yeah.
And he and I have gotten into it multiple times.
Yeah.
We do it off camera and off the record, but he and I have definitely had it out.
And he complains if people say something that he doesn't think is fair, and yet he throws people under the bus all the time.
But you know, like, also, I don't have an issue with like.
Yeah.
All we do is sit around and be critical of people. That's what we do.
Whoa.
Like, but you know what? But we're complimentary of people too.
We are.
Plenty of times.
We are.
Yeah.
But it's okay for athletes if it's accurate. It's totally fine for athletes to be critical of the media and reporters. I have no issue with that. Like,
agreed.
Look, the Miles thing. He didn't want to talk to me. All right, cool. Like, I totally get why you're mad at me. Fine. Like, it's all true. I'm not going to take any of it back, but I totally get it. What he said about Brian was not true. And that's what I have an issue with.
Yeah.
If it's true and it's fair, have at it. If it's not true, that's wrong.
I agree. And if
and too many media people are thin-skinned, man.
And you're right.
It drives me crazy.
Hey, listen.
We could sit here and say whatever we want about them, and as soon as they turn around and point the gun at us, everyone goes, "Oh, you can't." No, of course you can. Yes, you can.
When I got into that spat with Juan Thornhill on Twitter, I went back at it with him, but like I said in my tweets, he has every right to go at me because I'm going at him.
Yes.
So he can go at me, and that's fine. What pisses me off is, yes, when they, like in this case with Brian, when he says something that's not true. But what pisses me off is LeBron can have 500 good articles written about him. He'll never say, publicly, Jason Lloyd wrote a hell of an article about me. Joe Varden, I love that guy. He wrote a hell of an article.
Who would ever do that?
He'll only point out the things that are critical of him.
There's nobody that would ever do that,
athletes
though.
are like that.
But
no, all of them are. Ain't no most. They all are.
And the teams are like that too, because I could write 50 positive articles about a team, and the first time you rip them, is when they lose their mind.
Wait a minute. Wait, when the last positive article you wrote?
The last positive article I wrote?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
He's written a bunch on the Cavs this year.
Yeah, a bunch.
Okay.
Right.
I'm Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky most of the time.
What about the Browns?
Why they call me Mr. Sunshine?
What
about the Browns?
Look at Rick Pitino.
Spend a minute on the
The
Browns.
New York media, which is the toughest media, was kissing his ass, deservedly so, all year.
Yeah.
Then he screws up their tournament game. I mean, they played terribly, but he also screwed up. And one tough question, he's getting pissed off. After they kissed his ass for 6 months.
Yeah. And a part of it is, there is a sense of entitlement with all of these guys.
Right.
And like, who are you to question me or to say something mean about me?
I never was like that.
And that's it.
It's
fair.
fair.
People. It's the same with not everybody. I don't want to lump everybody together, but athletes, actors, politicians. They think they're above it all. They think they're above it all. They're always right. We're always people that cover them are wrong.
Yeah.
And
see, I'm the opposite.
So
I think everybody else is right, and I feel like I'm the one with the problem. Maybe it's me, Jason. You should say that to you. Maybe it's me.
I've made that joke when all three teams in town are mad at you at the same time. I look in the mirror sometimes and go, maybe it's me. Nah.
Jason, what else did you have? What else did you take issue with that LeBron said yesterday outside of the Windhorst stuff? Just out of curiosity.
Honestly, I don't remember.
I didn't hear anything.
There was a
else
couple
besides
things.
those two things.
Heck, him and Stephen A. just keep going back and forth.
It's turned into like a high school girl.
Stephen A. saying he would have hit LeBron. Come on,
he would have.
No, he wouldn't have.
Bull.
Give me a break.
I had this argument with my friends yesterday.
He 100% would have.
What are you talking about? If anybody swing on you, you better swing back. What are you talking about?
He said if LeBron touched him.
He said if LeBron swung on him, he would have swung back. Well, for sure.
I thought
And
he
by
said
the way,
if
the end of- the end of that
1,000%.
clip, when Stephen A. said at the end of that clip, which got cut off by all the aggregators, was I would have swung at him and got my ass beat by.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But he
would've got
did go
killed.
on to say I would have got my ass.
I
kicked.
thought he just said if LeBron had touched him.
No, I thought he said swung.
Oh yeah, well okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah,
I thought
heck
it was
yeah.
I thought it was.
I thought he just said touch me.
Man, now
but
y'all gonna make me go check
said-
the
Stephen
cup.
A. Smith, and he admitted it, as you said, would have gotten obviously.
Yeah, no,
his ass
he
kicked.
said if LeBron put hands on him, he would have.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said.
All right,
Yeah.
well, listen. Yeah, I mean, if somebody tries to hit you, you're going to hit him back, sure.
That's why I'm like, I don't know why people was making
But
this
Stephen
whole
A. would
thing.
get his
Like,
ass kicked.
I
yeah.
don't know.
But he admitted
He
it.
didn't
I
say
don't-
yeah.
I don't know Stephen A. at all. I've had 2 interactions with him probably total, but I have to think he's loving every minute. Every time LeBron says his name.
Yeah.
No, hold on, Jason. That's the best part. LeBron almost intentionally will not say his name. He gave Wendy the shout out yesterday. He almost
Wasn't much of a shout out.
Well, but I'm just saying he used him by
Shit
name.
out.
He will not mention Stephen A. by name. He just talks about
Yeah.
that guy on ESPN or that guy on First Take.
I know.
It's got to be driving Stephen A. crazy.
Well,
Which I appreciate.
Apparently, he didn't go. LeBron didn't go to Kobe's memorial, so there you go.
Yeah, that was the last thing that came out.
All right.
Last thing, real quick, before we move on to wrap up the show with some Guardians. We heard what Jason thought on the Cavs. Ty, would this Cavs team, 2007 version, be able to compete in today's NBA?
I mean, when you got LeBron, you got a shot.
You always got a chance.
Yeah, you got a shot with LeBron.
Nobody-
It would just be about obviously their play style would be different. Like Boobie would have to hit more threes. Larry Hughes would have to hit more threes, which you brought them in here essentially because they were 3-point specialists at the
they
time.
might-
Their shot attempts were ref.
And by the way,
will go
those
up.
guys might be better players in this era.
Yeah, because that's
Right? They
true.
Boobie especially.
Yeah.
Boobie had a lot of injuries in his career.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about Big Z in this era.
Whoa! Whoa!
Jason said
he
he's
would be like Nikola Jokic if
I
he
see him
played
around-
today.
he was actually a
Stop
good shooter.
I see
playing
him
with me.
around Rocky River all the time.
Big Z from the trade.
He actually would, I think, would fare pretty well.
Z was
Yeah.
a good shooter.
Okay, so
yeah.
he would be good.
Yeah, I think
They'd let him shoot.
Yeah.
All right.
As much as LeBron pisses me off, I mean, he's just the freak of all freaks.
Yeah, I still remember that pitch.
So, yes,
in that
any
season.
team with LeBron has a chance to win a championship.
Let's wrap up today's show with some Guardians talk, guys. We are just a couple hours here from the first pitch of the season this morning. Bull and Zach did an Ultimate Guardian show, their first in-season Ultimate Guardian show of the year. No, technically it's still preseason.
Technically not
Technically
in-season,
it's still preseason.
We'll do
but it's
one
close
Monday.
enough.
The next show will be Monday.
Next show on Monday. If
At
you
9
want
a.m.
even more Guardians coverage before the first pitch, make sure you go check it out. It's on our YouTube page, and you can find all the other spin-off shows right there alongside it. But Bull and Zach, every week, the Ultimate Guardian Show. Make sure you guys tune in.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we talked about today's game, even though now Bybee is not pitching.
Right.
It is Ben Lively.
By the
instead.
way, he's not injured. It's food
It's food
poisoning.
poisoning.
So it's not something to be worried
the
about, but
Guardians
he's not
have
pitching.
also reshuffled their rotation for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, what is it?
They're leaving it open. Gavin Williams and Ortiz were supposed to pitch. Now it is going to be on a to-be-determined basis because Bybee might be able to pitch. It may be a one-day thing. So they're going to announce that later. So
Yeah.
stay tuned.
My guess is Bybee will pitch one of those 2 days.
So stay
depending on how he's
tuned on
feeling.
that. But I want to talk big picture with the Guardians. Now, they
Yeah.
made the ALCS last season. They won the AL Central Division. When you look at the odds on FanDuel for the AL Central right now, the Guardians come in at plus 290. That is the third best odds to win the division. It's kind of a jambalaya there. Twins, the favorites, plus 210. Tigers, plus 230. Guardians, plus 290. The Royals, plus 310. And then the White Sox, 210 to 1.
Is the White Sox
to win the
ever going to
division.
be like?
I mean, someday, but
Is it really
their
that
roster
bad?
might be worse this year than last year.
It's really that bad.
How many White Sox can you name?
more than you think.
Louis
Andrew
Roberts
Vaughn.
Jr.
Who's their closer?
Wait, hold on.
Mike Clevenger's their
Yeah,
closer.
Mike
Wait,
Clevenger's their
could
closer.
Tyvus
Allegedly.
Could Tyvus name more White Sox players than Bull can name St. John's players? That's the real question.
I don't think Tyvus can name any White Sox players. Most.
Louis Roberts the Jr. ain't there.
Yeah.
No more?
There you
he's
go.
there.
One guy.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
Sean Burke.
That's the same amount of Red Storm players Bull knows.
That's all I
No,
know.
I knew more than that.
I'd have to see.
But I forgot 2 names.
I'd have
3
to look
names.
at their roster because it's probably
Lennon-
another name on
Lennon
there.
Smith's
Oh, if
the
you said Mike
shortstop.
Clevenger, I know Mike
Cleve's
Clevenger.
their
What's that?
closer. Their shortstop.
Lennon Sosa?
Sosa, not Smith.
Yeah.
Sosa, yeah.
All right, so what do you guys think about the AL Central odds, though? Guardians third at plus 290.
Yeah.
Bull, when you look at this whole division, I know you've said, and you've gone back and forth
So
how you think can finish.
I made my prediction this morning on the Ultimate Guardian show. I think it's going to be very close. If you look at FanGraphs projections, they have every team in the American League East, all 5, within 5 games of each other at the end of the season. They have the 4 teams besides the White Sox in the Central, all within 5 games of each other at the end of the season. And in the West, they have the Mariners, Rangers, and Astros, all within 5 games, and then the A's and Angels within 10 games. So nobody is more than 10 games supposed to be out of first, except for the White Sox, based on FanGraph projections. I thought about this a lot because I think all 4 teams are fairly close. And here's what the tiebreaker ultimately was for me. Now, keep in mind that baseball, by far, the most unpredictable sport. Mm-hmm. We talked about this on the Guardian show, right? LeBron James is not going to have a season. Well, I guess he could at 50, maybe. But LeBron James, in the middle of his career, forget LeBron James, he's too good. Donovan Mitchell is not going to have a game in the middle of a season, in the middle of his career, where all of a sudden he scores 13 points a game. Right? It's just never going to happen.
LeBron just did that last night.
No, you meant a season in the middle
season.
of the season.
Oh.
He's never going to have a season
Where he only
scored
scored. Oh, yeah, no.
Right? In football, unless he's hurt, Patrick Mahomes is not going to have a season where he throws 10 touchdowns and 18 picks. Like, they don't, those extreme swings of the all-stars in those sports don't really happen, except for injury. Whereas in baseball, they happen. Cody Bellinger, MVP, then he gets non-tendered. Chris Bryant, first couple of years in the league, you thought he was going to be a Hall of Famer. He barely played for 5 years. I drafted him in like the 30th round of our fantasy draft. This happens all the time in baseball, and the place it happens even more than that, the most, is in bullpens. Bullpens are highly volatile and highly unpredictable. Even the best guys. It's very rare that guys are consistently good.
Will Milwaukee have a good bullpen? Because I think they were second to the Guardians last year.
They traded their closer, Devin Williams, to the Yankees, so we'll see. I think their bullpen will be okay, and they're a well-run organization.
Okay.
They're kind of a little bit of a National League version of the Guardians to some degree.
Yep.
But that being said, when I looked at the 4 teams and I looked at the lineups, I felt in the end that they're all pretty close. I think the Guardians lineup is better than the Tigers. I think it's just as good as the Twins. I'll put them a hair behind the Royals in lineup, but a slim hair. I think the Guardians have more upside in their lineup than the Royals. But they're relying on that upside more than the Royals are. So then I go to starting pitching. And I got the Royals with the slightly better lineup. So who's got a better starting staff? I think the Guardians have a better starting staff than the Royals, top to bottom. Not by a lot, but I got them ahead. I like the Tigers' starting rotation the most in this division, but their lineup is the worst. And the Twins' rotation is fine, just like their lineup is fine, but not special. So now I'm still neck and neck. They're all pretty close between starting pitching and rotation and lineup. But the bullpen is the difference maker. Even though it's unpredictable, I don't like the Tigers' bullpen at all. Their closer,
it's a mess.
Their closer for most of last year, Jason Foley, got sent down to the minors yesterday.
Yeah.
So who's going to be their closer? Their bullpen was great during that stretch the last 6 weeks. It was like 30-something games that they made the playoffs. Almost a third of those games were against the White Sox. That factored in. And they had a lot of young players that performed. But you can't pitch your bullpen for a full season like the Tigers did. That was even more extreme than the Guardians. They were throwing starters for like 2 innings. They can't do that all year. There is no short thing in their bullpen. The Royals' bullpen was terrible last year. They added Carlos Estevez, serviceable closer, better than what they had. They traded for Lucas Erceg at the end of last year. He's a nice young pitcher. Rest of their bullpen, highly volatile. Nobody's particularly impressive. Twins bullpen, I like their closer. I like their setup guy. Rest of their bullpen, I don't really like. The Guardians bullpen is good and deep, and it's better at the back end and deeper than all these teams. That's the edge. That's the biggest edge in this division is bullpen. The reason I'm not that confident they're going to win by that much is because bullpens are unpredictable. And the Guardians ultimately, offensively, are relying on a lot of upside.
Yeah.
So But in the end, I think the top 4 teams in this division will finish 6 games apart. That'll be the separation. I got the Guardians winning 88, the Royals winning 85, the Tigers winning 83, and the Twins winning 82.
Dang.
That's what I got. I think all 4 will be good. I think it's going to be a race down to the end of the season, but I think the Guardians will pull it out at the end of the year with 88 wins.
Can I see those odds one more time?
Why are you so down on
Yeah,
the
we'll pull it back
Twins
up.
like that?
I don't like Minnesota either.
There's nothing I love about their team.
No.
Like
I agree
all
with
of
that.
their bullpen's okay.
but
their
every
rotation's okay.
every year it's like
Here's
they,
the problem
they
with the
hyped them
Twins.
up every year.
Here's the problem with the
You
Twins.
can drop it, Mike.
The problem with the Twins is their 2 best players, Royce Lewis and Byron Buxton,
Can't
are
stay healthy.
always hurt.
Yeah.
Always. Lewis is already starting the season off the IL, and Buxton not only is always hurt, but now he's not that young anymore either. It's like, can he stay healthy? Can he stay? Well, now can he stay healthy? And he's 32 or whatever he is.
And I don't love
So-
their pitching staff. If I'm trying to make money, I'd probably take the Royals just on those odds.
Based on the odds, yes.
I think the Guardians will win the division. Like if I'm just picking a team to win the division, I would pick the Guardians. If I'm trying to make as much money as possible, I would take the Royals because I think it's really close between those two.
But the odds are really close.
Yeah, I know
those
they
two.
are.
Yeah.
But I don't like the Twins at all.
I don't know why they're the favorites.
I don't either. It doesn't make any sense. Detroit, I'm with you. I think they by the end of the year they could have the best rotation in the division.
Yeah.
Even better than Cleveland. But there's also a lot of question there. Casey Mize, Jackson Jobe. Is Jobe going to reach the potential?
Right.
Is Mize slider really going to play that much differently? So there's
And
too
who
many
do you
questions.
love in their lineup?
Nobody. No, even Riley Green is okay, but he's
Yeah.
not. Now he's young. He still has
Right,
time.
there's
He could-
potential.
Yeah.
Like maybe this is the year Torkelson puts it together. Colt Keith's a nice young player.
Yeah, he's all right.
There's guys there, but
They don't-
Parker Meadows is going to miss half the year.
They don't have a lineup that hits the ball out of the park, nor do
No.
they have a stadium that hits the ball
No.
that is conducive to hitting it out of the park. So I would pick Cleveland to win the division, Kansas City second,
Yeah.
and Minnesota and Detroit. I don't really care the order
Yeah.
there, 3 and 4. I do think it'll be close. I'm with
Yeah.
you. I like Kansas City last year, and I like them even more this year. But like I said earlier, I'm a believer. I'm a truther, I guess is what they say now.
Yeah.
With Rocchio and Naylor, I think both of them
Yeah.
are going to have. I won't say big years. I think Rocchio's going to have a big year. I think
Yeah.
Naylor will regress in a good way, regress to the mean
Yeah.
of what they expected him to be.
I think if I'm the Royals, the thing I'm worried about beyond the bottom of their lineup and their pen a little bit, I could see regression coming for Waka and Lugo. Lugo had been kind of a journeyman. He always had potential, but he was so good last year
Yeah.
without strikeouts.
Yeah.
You can say the same thing about Ben Lively.
Oh yeah,
could,
absolutely.
yeah. And
but they're relying on Lugo more than the Guardians are relying on Lively.
Was Lively third in the rotation right now?
Yeah.
And where's
At the
Lugo?
moment.
Where's Lugo?
Second.
Oh, I thought he was.
I
third.
actually think Bubich could be really good.
Yeah, and
for
a
the
lot of
Royals.
people are high on him.
I
We'll
really
see.
like him.
Yeah.
For the sake of this show, because
Yeah.
anytime all three of us say the same thing, it never happens.
I don't know
So
if that's true, but it might
to save this, I'm going to take the Royals to
Yeah.
win the division, and I'm going to have the Guardians come in second place because I think Bobby Witt and them just got hot real good last year at the right moment, and I thought for a second I didn't think they'd win the division, but I thought that they would make the postseason and do some damage in the postseason. I think that they are inspired, and they're going to come out and play some really good baseball, and they're going to find a way to win the division in the end. But it won't be by much. I think it'll be by like 2 or 3 games.
I got a bold prediction for you.
Shoot.
Not Guardians related. The Yankees will not make the playoffs.
That ain't bold.
That's not bold?
No.
Nope.
They're the favorites in the American League. What are you talking about?
Not bold. Be better. Let's look at the. Let's look
Wait,
at the
no. Wait a second. Are they not the favorites in the American League?
I don't know how
I'll
they
look
could
it up
be
for you.
at this
Hold on.
point after all the injuries. I'd pick Baltimore.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You can't say it's not bold when they're favored. I mean, just because you don't think they should be favored.
I don't think they should be favored.
But they are favored.
I'm
Go
going
ahead.
on FanDuel. Hold on.
Yeah.
We're doing this live.
I would pick Baltimore and Boston. I think New York finishes third in the division. And Toronto's a wild card. Toronto could fit. New York could be fourth.
Don't
in
Boston
that
got Garrett Crochet there? now?
Yeah,
The Yankees are the favorites to win the AL East.
Thank you.
I think they.
No, they're the
finish-
favorites to win the American League, aren't they?
Yes.
You can't tell me it's not bold to pick them not to make the playoffs.
I don't want to give you credit, but they are
outrageous.
The American
They're
League. But I
favorites
still
to win the
think it's
American
that
League.
I think they finished third in their division.
Now that's bold. Wow. Jason Lloyd coming out of nowhere with the bold. That's a league division favorite. Finishing third behind the Sox, the Orioles, the Rays, the Jays. I mean, holy shit.
I say the Guardians and Royals make the playoffs, only 2 in the Central.
Oh, you got the Tigers making it?
Hey, should we throw $10 on the White Sox to win the division?
No. You might as well light that $10 on fire.
Just give it to me.
Last thing before we get to Super Chats. But Steve, take tag, we're here full. It's the opening day lineup. Bull, you mentioned it earlier in the show. But let's actually see.
Yeah.
Juan in the leadoff spot. Jose batting second. We heard from Stephen Vogt earlier in the offseason talking about wanting to try out Jose in the 2-hole. Lane Thomas third. Santana fourth. Manzardo DHing in the 5 spot. Noel in the 6th.
Let's go.
Arias and Rocchio to round it out. Bull, is this the right opening day lineup, all things considered?
Yeah, I love that Manzardo's in there against the lefty, Jason.
Too.
To me,
And
that's
Naylor.
really – and Naylor.
Yeah.
No Nolan Jones. That's all right. I think that has less to do with Nolan Jones and more to do with they like
trying to get Noel.
They got to get him his at bat. So, yes, I like it. I think I like them playing Manzardo, and I like him hitting 5th. And the one thing about Santana, even though obviously he's not the same player he was, he's still pretty good at getting on base.
Yeah.
And so that could lead to some, base runners ahead of Manzardo.
Arias
there,
is
so.
batting A. Man, if he hits 17 home runs, man, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Don't,
I like the lineup.
Don't even say nothing. Don't ever speak to me about baseball again.
If he's hit 17, he ain't hitting 8th all year long.
Yeah, that's true.
He's moving up.
Moving on.
All I know is it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Tanner Bybee, by the way, I'm watching a clip of a podcast that him and Stephen Kwan were on.
Yeah.
And Bybee says he eats Chipotle every day he pitches. So can we blame Chipotle?
Well,
Probably
I don't know that
yesterday.
we can blame him because he might have gotten sick from
yesterday.
Food poisoning from yesterday.
Yeah.
So it might be what he ate yesterday.
He's not eating Chipotle. He's not scratched by noon, 11 a.m. Kansas City time.
Yeah, he was eating Chipotle for breakfast.
Right. E. coli's back.
Yeah, it's probably something he had
It's
last
probably
night.
whatever he had for dinner last night.
Yeah. Get Darren on the case.
Did the
I already
Royals
texted
poison
Darren.
Tanner Bybee?
I texted Darren. He said, "Get the F out of here. It's not on us." So, Bull, who do you think's the favorite in the American League to win the MVP?
Oh,
Bobby
I didn't know we
Witt.
were predicting MVP.
Yes.
Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt
That's
is the
not a
favorite
bad
in
call.
the American League.
I mean, it's pretty easy. Talk about not bold.
Yeah.
Who do you think's second?
Judge.
Third?
I mean,
Although, if the
I think
Yankees
Judge
miss
is the
playoffs-
favorite to win the MVP.
If the Yankees
but
miss the playoffs, he's not winning the MVP.
no.
Jose.
He's
Jose's
always
ninth.
in the discussion.
Yeah, he has more top 6 finishes for MVP than I think anybody over the last 6-7 years. But he's never won it.
Yeah.
Gunnar Henderson. No, he in the
Yes.
North. Oh, it is
Look
good.
at Tyvus, our baseball expert,
I'm
just
just
schooling you
listening.
two
Oh,
here.
What are we doing?
Wait.
He said that-
I thought you were asking us to predict who we thought.
No,
should be
he
the
was
favorite.
saying who is
Say in the odds,
In the
who-
odds.
Oh, I didn't know that. You make that clear.
Who do you think's fourth?
Gunnar
Bull?
Henderson's the favorite?
Third.
Oh my God,
He's
you
third.
listen to anything
Bobby
today,
Witt's
Bull. You got
first.
baseball on your
Judge is
mind.
second. Gunnar Henderson's third.
Who's fourth?
Who's fourth? We're gonna name the 8 guys before Jose before we do super chats.
Who is
Jose's 9th.
9th, correct.
Vladdy's got to be up there.
Vlad's 5th. There's one before Vladdy.
Bo Bichette.
No.
No. I'm guessing Bull said that. I'm not looking.
I did not say that. You're getting very obnoxious there, Mike.
I'm so hungry.
Corey Seager.
Nailed it. Good job. 6th. AO West.
Julio Rodriguez.
He's 8th. 7 and 6 are
Oh.
also from the West.
Altuve?
He's not in the West anymore, Bull.
It can't be Trout.
What are you talking about? He's not in the West. He's on the Astros.
Oh, I was thinking of Bregman, but it's not Altuve.
Hold it together, will you?
His teammate. Trout.
Oh, Jordan Alvarez.
Yeah.
Jordan 6, Trout 7.
Trout is on the list. Wow.
Julio's 8, Jose's 9th, and then it drops off significantly after that to Riley Green, Wyatt Langford, Devers, Duran, Bregman, Lawrence Butler of the A's.
All those guys ahead of Adley Rutschman, huh?
Yeah, Rutschman's 85-1. Did you see Cal Raleigh signed a massive contract?
Yeah.
I did. That was like 2 days ago.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some super chats to wrap up today's
Yeah.
show. We only got a couple today, so let's get through these.
All right.
First one comes from Skilly, who said, Jimmy Haslam being at Cam's workout makes me a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. He always finds a way to screw it up. Can't wait to meet you guys at the comedy show tomorrow.
I'm gonna defend Jimmy on that.
Wow.
When you're talking about the quarterback and the number one pick, the owner is going to be involved. I don't care what franchise it is. The owner is going to be involved.
The owner's got to meet the player.
Yes, the owner's going to be
he's
involved.
making football decisions.
No, Jimmy absolutely should be at that.
Yeah.
I agree. He'll never thank you for saying that.
No, he will not. That's okay.
In fairness, we've killed.
No, we ain't did nothing.
I mean, I make fun of his son-in-law on a regular basis. Yes, I call him hillbillies.
I ain't said nothing. He's a great owner.
You're out of bounds on some of the stuff you say.
It's a great owner.
Calling him a hillbilly?
Yes.
Thank you.
Why is that?
You can't say that.
Why? Why?
Because it's not nice.
I know, but
look at somebody talking about not being nice.
Is his son-in-law qualified for his job?
Yep.
Or is he a DEI hire?
He should.
His son-in-law is a DEI hire, 100%.
Oh my God, Mike.
Nepotism.
And his son-in-law insulted me when we met, so I will never forgive him.
All right, Stephen A. Go ahead.
Bull
Hey, just because I got the balls to say things that other members of the media are so worried about their jobs, they're not
Adam
afraid,
A. Bull,
to say.
okay.
Go ahead.
Eddie Everhart says, Haslam went to Sam Darnold's pro day. It didn't matter. Also, Jason, do you know why the team was there to meet with Njoku and his agent? Go Guardians.
I do not know why. I could make some. I don't know the exact reason why. It very well could be that they were in town and just want to say hi. It could be as simple as that. Because he's under contract for quite a while, so I don't think it's right. How much does he have left? Yeah, maybe not.
2 years.
Maybe not.
Here, let me look it up one second.
Probably got like 1 year left.
Might not have much guaranteed money left after this year. It might be none.
That's probably
maybe it was.
According to Over the Cap, which we prefer over Spotrac.
Yeah.
Njoku in 25, no guaranteed money.
Oh, maybe that's why then. That very well could
be. Is he under contract for next year, though?
Especially with the agent,
is, right?
Yeah, he is. Especially with the agent being there. It could have been a contract situation.
I bet you that's what it is. He has no guaranteed money, and then technically next season, 26 is a void year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're looking
so
at
it's probably.
So he is a free agent at the end of this year. Well,
it's probably a
contract.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a $24 million cap hit for 26.
Browns taking Tyler Warren at 2.
That's a tricky spot because he's just an average player.
He's above average. He's an above average tight end. He's not elite, but he's above average.
All right, I'll give you above average. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you above average.
I don't know for how much longer.
But how much do I want to pay an above average tight end later in his career?
They're hard to find, man. Yeah. Tight ends, it's a hard position to
fill. This year, guess what? They got like three.
Good draft for tight ends.
Got like 3 or 4 of them.
It is a good draft for
supposed
tight
to be
ends.
good.
That's what everybody says.
All right, last super chat. And by the way, in overtime, we're going to bring EP Steve out here, mic him up, and talk some sports with EP
I thought
Steve.
we were not doing overtime because we're going to lunch. What happened?
No, we're doing overtime.
All right.
Last super chat comes from Stephen Grubb and says, "Hey guys,
have
you heard of the rumor?"
Mike just said he was hungry, so I thought we were blowing off.
I can't
Sorry, all you people who pay your hard-earned money to watch overtime, we're hungry, so we're not going to do overtime.
No, we're doing overtime. Stephen Grubb says, "Hey guys, have you heard about the rumor of the Browns potentially trading for Dak Prescott?"
No, he didn't. Was he just kidding?
Yes.
Anthony, would you like to read this super chat?
You think he was being sarcastic?
It
is 100% a real super chat, and he spelled Dak wrong.
Well, I think he probably.
What do you spell? D-A-C-K?
He tuned into the show too late. That's all.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't tune in right
He missed the beginning of the show.
So have you guys heard about that rumor?
Yeah. What was funny?
Would you like to fill him in on what we said?
By the way, Dustin and I did a podcast at 9 o'clock this morning, and when we talked about, I briefly talked about the Dak thing, and Dustin had not heard about it until I brought it up on the show.
It was all over our group chat. Clearly, he's not reading it.
It's true.
It's muted.
Dustin always tells me if you have to get me, text me individually.
Yeah,
I don't look at the group chat.
I was like,
so
you're that under the
But yes,
rock?
we heard about the rumor.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and hear our thoughts, go to about the 11:05.
We'll share the thoughts. The thoughts are the rumor was absurd. It should have never been said. It was never realistic. It was never going to happen. It's not going to happen. It was embarrassing that got it brought up.
David Black.
Give me a score prediction for today's Guardians Royals season opener.
4-2.
We got 40 seconds, so give me a quick score prediction.
4-2 Guardians. No, I'm gonna go 4-2 Royals.
Yeah, I like the Royals in this one. Unfortunately,
well, once with the pitching game.
Yeah,
I'm saying 7-6 Guardians.
Woo!
the start of 45 home runs.
Guardians rally back against the Royals'
Noel.
pen.
One of those two would be one of those 2 points would be Big Crispus home run.
Not points, they're runs. Two runs off Carlos Estevez in the ninth inning.
Will they go wire to wire first place in the division?
They will not. Did they last year?
No. Did they? No.
What y'all gonna do?
Yeah, maybe they did.
I think they did.
They might be because they got off to such an incredible
Yeah, they
start.
started off super high.
Yeah, started
I think you're
7-2.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Big Christmas
Stephen
home
Vogt
run.
has never
I will
not
see it
done
overtime.
first.
Don't miss out on the money.
Peace.